That's a big win in Adelaide for Richmond, isn't it? Geese.
I wonder if audio was up.
I do. Syrah, the Syrah. Is that Colo? Is that Colo at the back? There you are. Was Metro playing his 50th?
Yeah, no, that was last week.
Oh, okay.
So they probably couldn't acknowledge it last week. Yeah.
Not many blokes get a banner like that, do they? Miss the milestone and still they want to celebrate it.
Brandon's got his 150.
Who? Is he playing 150 today? Is he? Oh, might have to mention that somewhere.
And Mush is playing, what's he playing?
From memory.
199 today. That's shocking.
That's cruel but fair. He's our boy, but my word. Hey? But he's been a good one.
Rashford won.
Mine's the footy, all right, mate.
How old's he?
Only 19.
Is he?
Yeah.
Teenager.
Okay, mate.
Dylan.
Yeah. Knows where to go. Clever. That's fair call. Yeah, he looks untidy, but he finds it.
It's fused to being crook.
Sorry, mate.
It's fused to being crook since last year's
He
finals.
broke a collarbone. He's
Now we'll be coming
recovered pretty
shortly,
quickly.
fellas, and we won't see the opener. This is just going to be up on us. Yep. Okay.
Doubleheader Sunday continues right here on 7 from Subiaco Oval. It's the West Coast Eagles against Carlton. And you've got to say, hardly a promoter's dream. Both sides struggling for form at the moment. Carlton have lost their last 6. The West Coast Eagles coming off losses to Adelaide, St Kilda, Richmond and Sydney. Absolutely glorious day here in Perth. Fine and warm. Expecting a top of 24 degrees. It's about that now. Big crowd. Almost a sellout. And look at that clear blue sky. Breeze blowing down the ground towards the city end from the 3-tier stand end as we say good afternoon to Ross Glendinning and Kevin Bartlett.
Thanks, Dennis. And here we have a KB looking at the West Coast lineup. Ryan Turnbull named there in the back pocket, in fact, has been replaced in the selected side by David Wirapunda. That centre line, such an important one, KB, particularly Kemp, who's been in such outstanding form, and Chris Waterman, who is probably his best, a good utility player going around. Fraser Kerrick, I think, is an important player again. He's just dropped off the last couple of weeks, and Jason Ball coming back in gives us some height and mobility. Michael Gardner also in the ruck. Good duel between he, Porter and Allen of Carlton there, and Braun and Holmes in fact aren't playing. I should just point that out. There we see Daniel Metropolis on screen. Just coming back in for his 3rd game, having played his 50th last week. Anthony Koutafidis, KB, he's such an important player for Carlton.
Well, he hasn't had a very good season up to date to his standards, because most people see Koutafidis has been an absolute champion, but Silvani back in the side will be a tremendous boost to the Carlton
KB, would
side.
you play him back or would you play him forward? I'd like to play him forward.
Well, they need 2 Stephen Silvanis, don't they?
But you need to win this game, don't you?
They need to win, but look, I would think at some stage you'll play at both ends of the ground. Brett Ratton playing game number 150 today along with Koutafidis, such an important player. A couple of youngsters here, Franchina and Porter, who last year came in and made a big impression. He's got to go on with it this year. Lance Whitmore's been a terrific young player in his 2nd season. Pearce has been in good form since coming off knee problems, and Craig Bradley, of course, the veteran of the side and the captain. Clappe has been in there of the side this year. Peter Dean, very experienced player, but probably in his last year of AFL football. Big game for Carlton. They got walloped last week by about 15 goals, but I would think that they'll come back pretty hard today.
So the West Coast Eagles and Carlton. Adrian Barrich is prowling the boundary line. Adrian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dennis. And as you said, an absolutely magnificent day here at Subiaco Oval. I think the people back in Victoria must think what goes on here in Perth. It hasn't rained. About 26 degrees, I reckon. I know it said 24, but I reckon it's a bit warmer, and a big breeze, very swirly, probably right to left as we go on the screen. An interesting statistic for you the Eagles statistician gave me. Carlton haven't lost 7 in a row since 1955. 1955, and today they're going for 7 in a row, so who knows what's going to happen there. I've got one of the Eagles stars with me, Andy Lovell and Chopper. I guess from your point of view, though, the Eagles have never lost 5 in a row under Mick Moulton, so that's got to be a motivating factor.
Yeah, sure, Barra. Today's set up for us to win. We really need to win. Our season's pretty much on the line, and that will be certainly a motivating factor, so we certainly have to play well and beat Carlton.
You do have to win, though, don't you? I mean, if you can't beat the bottom side at home, what does it say about the West Coast Eagles?
Well, yeah, I don't think we've been playing that badly at all over the last few weeks. But, yeah, you're right. If we can't win, against the bottom side, and you say the bottom side, but Carlton certainly aren't as bad as they've been playing in the last few weeks. And they have a pretty good history against us. And I'm certain that they'll come over, with full of vigour and pretty keen to win.
Well, the teams do match up extremely well. One player that has troubled you in the past is Stephen Silvani. Any ideas of that from your camp, forward or back today, do you think?
I think probably they'll play him up forward. I think there might be a little bit too much pressure on him to play full back, coming back from a hamstring injury. But, anything can happen. I'm sure whoever plays full forward for us will be hoping that Silvani plays down the other end.
And man's up on someone else, yes. And a young guy, David Wirapunda, came into the team at the last moment. A word on him?
Yeah, Wirra's an exciting young player. He certainly hasn't produced the form that we would have expected from him, but he's played well in the waffle the last couple of weeks, and he's got blistering pace, and I'm sure that that's what he's been included for, is to use his pace on the wide open spaces, and hopefully he can get hold of the footy and do well.
Well, good on you, Chopper. Best on ground in the local league on the weekend, mate, so you might be back in for Geelong next week. What are you tipping today?
I think we'll win by 4 or 5 goals.
4 or 5 goals. So Dennis from the Eagles rooms, very, very confident of a win today. A great crowd here, but I think we'll be in for a pretty good game.
Thanks, Adrian. Checking the umpires this afternoon, Chris Mitchell, Gavin Della, Gavin Dorr, Silvani is starting on the forward line. So away we go. Two sides in the habit of losing at the moment. Can they turn that around? Start of our double header. Subiaco Oval. Porter goes up and slaps it down wide of the pack. In goes Koutafidis. Could have been taken high. It's shoveled out wide to Murphy from Bradley. Long probing kick well inside the 50. It runs on. It runs on. It's a goal. How's that for a start?
Well, so important to get that out of the centre. That's what happened, Dennis. They just moved that ball. And coming through, Banfield was picking up for Bradley. Just see the centre bounce again. Looks as if Gardner might have had to sit, but then Carlton just forcing it forward. Murphy the player to do that, and the ball just carried. Wouldn't want it any better than that, KB, out of the setup.
No, I would think that Carlton, after that shocking performance last week against Port Adelaide, will be looking to show the sort of form that a proud club would look at in coming back from such a poor defeat. So the ball just smashed out of the centre. McKay, quick kick taken away here by the youngster. That's Damien Locke. Kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. So Carlton have to atone for their shocking performances this year. They won the opening game against Adelaide, and then they've had 6 defeats on the trot.
Just going back to that first goal, Bradley got a boot to it, but it was Ratton's hand pass that actually got the ball wide to Murphy, who booted the goal.
Well, he's playing his 150th game, and there he is, speaking of the devil, Ratton, getting the ball out again to Locke. Kicks down towards the centre-half forward post. There's Koutafidis. Got Chad Morrison to beat. Djakovic with strength. Just feeds the ball back out to Banfield. Has to concede a bit of ground. Gives it back to McKenna. The playmaker goes wide. And running hard is McIntosh. Silvani is lined up at full forward. Wirapunda goes in hard. Goes to ground. Picked up by DiUlio. Kicks the ball deep back into the forward line. Whitmore from behind. Thought he had it on the second grab. Wasn't paid. And they'll ball it up 20 metres out from goal.
Good chase by Silvani there on McIntosh. McIntosh very good at getting the ball out of the defensive 50 for West Coast.
There's the bounce. Djakovic is up to his own advantage. Smothered off the boot. It spills out towards centre-half back. Picked up brilliantly by Reid to Schofield. Still in his own defensive area. Schofield out towards the wing. Cousins wide of him. First back McKay. Needing support to Rice. McKay is on again. Now he's got problems. Close to the line. It trickles across and will be thrown in. Right on the wing. Goal to nothing.
Andrew McKay back in the side. Got the job on Chris Water at the moment, who's been a prolific possession winner in the last few weeks.
Ratton again decisively. Locke hand passes forward. Camporelli could have been pushed in the back. He's over the ball now. Reid is over him. A whistle and another bounce.
As I mentioned, Drew Banfield, the job on Banfield initially. On Bradley, I should say. Banfield on Bradley.
This ground looking immaculate. Like a putting surface. Thumped across the line by McKay. Boundary throw in. Like Adelaide, it's going to be warm
Kemp
here.
goes down with Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley looks as if he wanted to pick up Kemp. There's a bit of jostling going on. Bradley not happy with the treatment he got from Kemp. Umpire Chris Mitchell, pretty experienced here, just saying let's throw the ball in and forget about it.
The conga line knocked down by Porter, and again this is McKenna surrounded to Banfield, feeds it back. Peter Matera to Kemp. Kemp takes some time, gets it onto the boot and guides it across to Gardner. Gardner's taken the mark on the wing.
Very interesting duel between Gardner today and young Porter, the young Giants. Porter so good last year when he came in. They brought him off the rookies list.
Yeah, Porter just his 12th game and Gardner just his 18th.
Kicks down to the point of the centre square, gearing the high flyer, thumped away from behind by Sexton. Here's Peter Matera inside the centre square. Rice the chaser. Matera wants to take him on, just paddles the ball along in front. Rice is trying to worry him out of it and does very well. And knocks it over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Yes, young Franchina has the job. Anthony Franchina on Matera. Franchina, a bit of a Koutafidis look-alike. Good job for that player. Well done, Dean Rice, though, to get that ball out of bounds.
So Gardner wins the tap, taken away by Murphy. He's kicked the opening goal back to Rice. Just thumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Running with a fly on the ball was Banfield. Bowls over McKenna. Loose ball on the half-forward line. Pearce has been so dangerous in recent weeks. Reid had it, lost it. Good tackle by Hamill. Still good enough to get the ball back to Metropolis. playing game number 51 today. From the half-back flank, kicks the ball down. There's the big high flyer out in front. And that's Jason Ball.
Ball on the ground, gives it across to Cousins. Cousins kicks well inside the 50. Knocked away by Lang. Lang and Fuse to go at it across the line. Boundary throw-in.
Glenn Matt conceding a bit of height to Jason Ball, but his endeavour and attack on the footy could worry Ball. And Lang, of course, matching up, as Dennis said, on Future. That's a good match up there.
Throw in the pocket. Ball's in front. Falls to the back. Camporelli gets the hand pass away. This is Lang kicking it out towards the wing. McKenna missed the mark. Now he's got a problem. Hamill stayed on his feet. Hamill pulls it back looking for Whitnell. Good pass. Whitnell's got the ball forward of the wing. Goes inside the 50 or tries to. Not a good effort. Bradley falls over in front of Banfield. Knocked at Goldwood. Metropolis comes away. Hand passes across to Gardner to Jakovic. Jakovic moves inside the centre square, kicks to half forward, hiding in the shadows there. There's Schofield, and Schofield's taken the mark. You can see was his hair. Schofield wants to go. Has a bounce now, running it up towards the 50. Almost forced into that situation, but he's going to kick a goal. Gehrig, I thought, was over the line. The goal umpire lets them play. Well, it's that tolerance we speak of on the goal line. Lang's got it now. He got it from Sexton. Hamill takes the mark on the wing. I don't know about that one.
Hamill from centre wing. It's a poor kick. Hugs the boundary line. Coming out is Koutafidis and takes it over.
Continues, you're right, Dennis. I know we get a replay of that, but Gehrig certainly looks as if he was over the line. Schofield loves this situation, takes the player on, and is very upright. It's a terrific kick on the run. If you look at, you'd suggest that Gehrig's top half of his body was over the line, therefore it would have been a goal.
We've had a few umpiring decisions.
What do you mean you?
Be a bit disturbing in Western Australia.
Get the modem out. There you go.
Goal umpire from a few weeks ago has decided to retire.
Hung up his flags.
Porter against Gardner. It's been a pretty good start by Carlton. Coming off that big drubbing. Needed some confidence and
their
quick
first
early
quarter
goal,
last
and
week,
they're being quite competitive.
Their first quarter last week wasn't so bad. It's just they started to fall away, particularly in the second half, poorly.
So Porter and Gardner will go at it for most of the day. Allen has started on the bench for the Blues. Kicked from mid-air by Reid. Back to the edge of the centre square. Wirapunda. Come into the side. Ryan Turnbull is out. Taken away by Locke. It comes through the centre square down towards centre half forward. There's a good passage of play by the Blues. It's been marked by Pearce. There's a thumping kick. He'll be shooting from 55 metres. Pearce unloads. Pushes it left and through for a behind.
Yeah, Metropolis getting caught out there. He thought the ball was going to go to the shorter contest, which was Jakovic and Whitnell, and Pearce had the drop on him. So when the ball carried over that initial pairing, he was caught well behind.
Blues kicking with a pretty solid breeze at the moment, with a couple of goals. Banfield up towards half-back, plays on immediately. Metropolis from centre half-back, kicking towards the wing. Gehrig, 2-on-1 situation here too. Awkward one for Sexton. Oh, he played it brilliantly. Well, Gehrig helped him. Around the corner, Hamill. Cousins was moving down the ground, 2-on-1. Cousins 25 metres in the clear. And Gehrig hand passed directly to Sexton, who was standing the mark. Ratton's got it now. Won't look on his mark. He kicks it down towards the pocket. It wanders towards the boundary. I think it's out of bounds on the full. Wayward kick.
Yeah, wasted disposal, given the great work of Sexton, who conceded the pace. Gehrig was going to get the ball in front of him. As Dennis said, the great intercept, and should have been to the front of the square, that kick. Too wide.
Matera short. Finds Cousins on the half-back flank. Now Fraser Gehrig has made a lead. He's got Sexton to beat. It's a one-on-one duel in front. Nearly took a slips catch. Kicked off the ground by Simmons. Just ricocheted off the boot that time of Bradley. Comes back to the youngster in Locke. Kicks back towards the half-forward line. Murphy was the high flyer. Too much carry on the ball. And they'll toss it back in.
The matchups are working pretty well at the moment. Sexton on Gehrig. Sexton will concede height, probably a bit of pace, but he's a class player.
Just had a shot of young Chris Massey on the boundary line. Playing his first game today. Koutafidis gets the ball out to Murphy. Another big bomb from Murphy. Again off target.
Some pretty good in-close handballs coming from Carlton. Dennis mentioned in that first goal to Murphy, just got that ball out very quickly, and again Koutafidis in a similar fashion. gave Murphy a shot at goal.
Brett Ratton averaging 21 possessions a game, coming off 24 last week against Port. And number 150, McIntosh. It's the hurry-up call. Drives it towards the outer side. Intended for Gardner out there. Out of position. Kudafiti's knocked it down in front. Jakovic stood up in the tackle. Feeds it back to Kemp. Across it comes to Morrison. Morrison running away from half-back. Kicking towards half-forward. Ball and Manton. Great job by Manton. Wonderful mark. Carlton have started well. They want to share the ball. The Ulio with a problem across the boundary line. Well, the intent was good.
This is where Glenn Manton will trouble Jason Ball. He's a very competitive player, would go for everything.
Thrown in. Porter directs it down, but straight to Kemp. Kemp was taken high. He'll get the free kick. Dean Kemp kicks inside the 50. De Ulio should have done better. Ball got behind him, pushed across the line by Sexton. Or was it Lang? It was Lang down there. Another boundary throw in. Carlton lead it by 8 points. A nervous crowd. The Eagles have had their problems this season. I'm sure a lot of nervous Blues supporters watching as well in Melbourne. It'll be tough for either side after a loss this afternoon to get back into the competition. High up and under, camped underneath it. Fuster didn't go the distance though. He's dragged down immediately. McKay crashed the pack. It comes to Kemp. Silky Skills got it across to Waterman. This is Schofield from 45. Pitches just on the kickoff line. Weirpunda.
We'd say that's what he's there for, that opportunist type goal, but a bit stiff there was Michael Sexton. Had to make the play with the Schofield kick coming in. It was dropping quickly all the time. Watch this, the ball comes in low initially and drops even more quickly because of the way it's spiralling. Sexton met it courageously, had to leave his man in Gehrig, couldn't quite control it. And the opportunist goal by David Weirapunda.
Always had great raps on him, David Weirapunda. Still only 18 years of age. From that centre bounce, Ratton kicks the ball down towards centre half forward. Out in front was Whitnell. He's got Jakovic the beat. Coming through hard was Pearce. Tried to take with one hand. McKenna concedes ground and finds Morrison.
It almost suggests there, Caver, that Pearce could have got two hands on that. It's an opportunity gone.
Back to the playmaker in McKenna. So Cousins makes space, and that's been honoured. Can't control it. I'll toss it back in. So Dean Rice picking up Ben Cousins. And Ron DeUlio has picked up David Weirapunda. So a couple of danger players here for the Blues. Kudafidis, they need a good game from Kuda today. Kemp, magnificent pickup on the burst. Daylight second. He gets the go-ahead. He runs the 50. Takes him on again, runs the 45. Dean Kemp in front. Kicks a poor one.
See, it's unusually poor finishing from Dean Kemp. He's as good as they get in that situation. Broke free, got himself set inside the 50 to probably 45. And just tried to push that ball through rather than punching it quickly. Gets himself here to inside 50. Almost as if he was passing Glenn Manton.
Sometimes when you run that far, you get a bit tired, Roscoe, and you just can't quite get up the energy to kick the ball. Particularly getting balanced. Rice from the kick out, kicks the ball long. He's looking for Murphy. Been taken by Cousins. There's a push out. Now Porter's gone off the ground. Matthew Allen has come on for Carlton. So Murphy from the half-back flank. Kick the opening goal. Kicks the ball long. It's a floater to the centre of the ground. Bradley is there along with Ratton. Couldn't take it. Kemp again. Feeds the ball out to Cousins. Back to Kemp. Second time lucky. Right on 50. Again, he's off target. It's out of bounds.
Not much to that push out either, watching the replay.
I would have thought so. Perhaps just an indication of how the Eagles have gone the last few weeks too, Dennis, with Kemp's kicking. They're getting the ball often enough. In the last few games, just haven't quite used it as well as they should have.
Kemp has started very well. 7 possessions so far. Ball is dragged down. It spills behind the pack. Picked up by Fuster. Fuster running away from his own goal. There's Simmons. Can he finish now? 35 out. Misses. So the Eagles forging some chances, but It's not translating onto the scoreboard. Adrian?
Dennis, with this breeze, it definitely favours Carlton in their forward line, but up at the Eagles forward line end, where it's protected by the 3-tier stand, it's swirling around. I think that's really affecting the kicking in that area.
Murphy short to Lang. Murphy has started well. Makes himself available. Lang gives it back. The chip pass comes across from Murphy to Locke. Locke told to go by Lang. Hands it up from the back pocket. Some indecision now. Not that convincing. Locke eventually kicks it up towards the wing. Whitnell, that's a good grab. Jakovic bearing down. Whitnell wasting no time. Goes down towards the half-forward flank, and Pearce on the lead. He's marked about 75 metres from goal. Koutafidis and Silvani, the only two players inside the forward 50 for Carlton. That kick's not good. Down towards the boundary. Silvani in front. Looks to the umpire for a push in the back. Nothing doing. Boundary throw in.
And Murphy has also gone off for Carlton, and Hume has come on. There's Silvani going to ground in front of McIntosh. So a chance for the Blues. The boundary throw in. Pearce does the ruck work. Pushed forward that time by Franchina. Another boundary throw in. So Murphy, interesting to see what Barra's got on Murphy, because he's been in the thick of the action, and there he is sitting on the interchange bench. Jakovic takes the front position, taken away by Ratton. Could have been leg, gets the ball back out to Pearce from a very acute angle. He might have drilled this. He has. It's a great kick.
Yeah, quite often, Kevin, goals like that shouldn't be goals. If they go at low trajectory at through at about 5 or 6 feet high, there's no one in that area to try and cut that ball off. They're worried about being right at the top of the square. You should always have someone back like that to cut that ball off. They're all drawn to the front. Good goal in the end, though. He made up for a poor pass he effected before.
So Brad Pearce, Carlton's leading goal kicker with 12 now this season, including 4 against Essendon round 3 and 5 last week in a losing cause against Port. One forward by the Eagles towards half forward. Gearing, and it bounce off his chest. Strong tackle on Hume, surely holding the ball, nothing doing. Sexton off his step. Stopped well, effectively by Matera. Follows up, nicely done. Has the obligatory bounce, running down towards half forward. Spearing pass into Fuster. Pitched just in front of him. Lang tidies up nicely. Still Lang. Got through well. Kicks it towards the outer side. Koutafidis will have to battle here. Coming back on Morrison. Morrison corralled across the boundary line, so a throw in. Adrian?
Dennis, as you can probably see in a moment, Justin Murphy cramping right calf, and nothing major, but needed to come off and stretch it, and got the ice vest on already too.
Pretty early in the game to be cramping. Koutafidis to Ratton. A couple of old heads combined down towards centre half forward Whitnell. He's been pretty good so far, playing in front of Jakovic. Cross half back in 2 minds. Gives it back to Simmons, comes through the centre square, kicks the ball out in front. Chance for Schofield. The Eagles looking for Fuster. Too much carry on the ball. The Blues will be happy to take it over the line. Plays 8. The Blues by 6 points for a throw-in. Just 30 metres around from the Eagles' goal. Fuster to do the ruck work. Takes it out to Cousins. Danger here for Carlton. Runs into the open goal. Bangs it through.
Just pace and balance here by Ben Cousins. He's not unlike Dean Kemp in that situation. Just able to keep his footing from this boundary throw, and they take full advantage of it. The height of ball so important there too. Just using that, grabbing the ball 2 hands, feeding it off. It's as good a set play as you'll see.
Scores a level. 2-2 apiece. Just over 8 minutes till quarter time. Gardner and Allen go at it. Allen jumps early. Camporelli, it was a touch ball. It goes to Hamill, had it knocked away. Hamill butters up again. Wrestled down by Reid. At the base of all of that is McKenna. The ball up, still inside the centre square. For Carlton, Murphy and Pearce have the goals. For the West Coast Eagles, Cousins and Wiapunda. Umpire Mitchell has the footy right now. Warm day in Perth. Temperature at 23 degrees when play started. Hamill digs it out wide. Picked up by Allen. He's right on the wing. Allen goes down towards half forward. Whitnell's in front defiantly. Over the top comes Jakovic. He thumps it across the boundary line.
The Carlton players have to be aware of that. If Whitnell's in front, which he does prefer to be, which is great from the centre half forward, Jakovic invariably will punch. They've got to be in front about 15 minutes to pick up that spoil.
A whistle and a free kick in front of the pack is going to Hamill.
It seemed to cop one in, and Reed's been reported for striking Hamill.
It'll be interesting, the paperwork on that, both 36s. Get it right, umpire.
We lost yesterday, didn't they?
They did, as a matter of fact. So number 36 has struck number 36. Kicked down inside the 50, picked up brilliantly by Pearce. High floater, out of bounds on the full in the left full forward pocket.
It looks as if Craig Bradley's coming off for a breather. I trust he's not injured. He'll be replaced by Matt Clappe from the West Coast Eagle.
David Parkin has given a couple of big jobs to a couple of young players. Franchina's picking up Peter Matera, and Hume is picking up Dean Kemp. So McIntosh comes away from that last line of defence, kicks the ball out wide. Allen didn't get the bounce he wanted. Gardner threw the ball.
Correct.
So Matthew Allen is sharing ruck duties with Porter. Tandem goes short. Loose player taken by Clappe. Tries to drill it, looking for Pearce. Had great hands before. Kicks the ball back towards where we see it's taken over. There's Pearce peeling for maybe coming off the boot. Let's go down to Barra and find out what's happened to Craig Bradley.
KB, he is stretching his hamstrings, but actually they've said there's nothing wrong with him. He got straight on the phone to David Parkin and got some clear instruction on how to play Drew Banfield. That was the message from the coach.
McKenna taken front on by Hamill. So ball up about 35 metres out from Carlton's attacking goal. Going on this westerly breeze, which is likely to freshen as the afternoon wears on. The southwester or westerly off the ocean. Bounce. Over the top, not goalward by Koutafidis. Emerging with the ball though is Schofield, running it up towards half-back. Schofield kicking through the wing now. Gehrig's the target. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball. Hume has the crumbs off the step. An awkward kick. He did well. Got it to Locke. Locke, a chip pass down towards half-forward. Koutafidis stretching. How will they call that? A mark. It was right on the line. I think back, no, it was across the line.
Yeah, the boundary umpire saying the second grab was across the line and touched the deck, so he was in best position.
Anthony Koutafidis, if you think back, round 5, 1996, 18 marks, and a virtuoso performance against the West Coast Eagles. Kemp did well, got it up to Waterman, high floating kick, back inside the centre square, gathered by Fuster. Was it Cousins? Cousins got the hand pass to Reed. Reed is running it down towards the 50. Long kick, bypassing ball down there. Fuster dashing back, having to stretch, didn't touch it. Behind, it was Matera going back to the half-back line that dug it out of the pack.
Both Fuster and Ball saying to Reed, we're on the lead, why don't you pass it to us, particularly if you're going to miss the shot at goal.
Clappe takes it on the half-back flank, kicks up towards the centre wing. They've got a loose player. So it's all set up for the Blues. Camporelli takes it in front of Matera. Had to come down from the half-back line there. Left Franchina vacant. Runs inside 50. 45 metres out and closing. Should kick a goal. He's got it.
And that's where it hurt you badly on the turnaround with that kick, and Carlton got that ball out very quickly. And all the West Coast players had run forward from the centre. Carlton players, you might suggest, just cheating a little by not going with those players. When the ball comes back to you, you are free. That's what happened there with Camporelli and then Franchina.
Blues by 6 points. 3-2-20 to 3-2-3-15. But it makes it 5 points. So Hume again inside that centre square. It's all tied up.
Just look at Craig Bradley down in front of us, KB. It looks as if it might even be his left quaddie he's just concerned about, just a bit of a niggle. And, doctors and physiotherapists just a bit concerned there what to do, whether he should come back on or rest it.
Gardner just slaps the ball forward. Going to ground was Rice. Did well close in Hume. Rockets the ball out wide. Finds Locke. A couple of youngsters combining, doing well. Whitnell interfered with.
Something you have to like about this fellow, apart from the fact he can play, is he does like front position.
Looks to be an enormous talent. And Hume takes a very difficult mark. He's doing very well since coming onto the ground, along with Locke.
He's been running with Dean Kemp.
So some young players in Franchina with a big job playing on Peter Materi. Goes short and finds Camporelli. This is a bright start by the Blues.
Well, it suggests they'd be very happy with it, Kemp, because they needed it particularly, and these sort of conditions would suit them. Players with good ball handling skills and pace.
They've been slow starters this season too, only averaging 18 points per first quarter over the first 7 rounds.
Paul Simmons off for a breather. He's been a bit crook. Missed the game last week, having gone to Adelaide with the team with the virus. He's been replaced by Jackson Crabb for his first run.
Camporelli's kicked 10 goals for the season. He's right on 50. And he's pushed it left.
This is the Hume mark here from the Whitnell pass. If you can call it that, I don't think he was aiming for Hume, but he finished up with the footy anyway.
Carlton lead by 6 points. Was kicking on a couple of occasions today. Has been a bit chancy, but it ended well enough. McIntosh, telling kick towards the outer side. McKay almost the grab. The hand pass around the boundary line. Nicely done. It comes across to Koutafidis from Franchina. The kick comes down towards full forward. In there is Silvani. Got a boot to it. Got it through the congestion. Matera gets back though. Under the pump. Kicks it wide. Whitnell. Man on inside. Whitnell thought about it. Now he goes towards the 50. Clappe couldn't hang on. Coming through his read. Taken down. Was he pushed in the back? Yes, he was. He'll get the free kick. Advantage won't be paid. Whitnell had a couple of options. Clappe spilt the mark. Perhaps he should have held it. This is Kemp. Is it right half back. Chips it up towards the wing. Gehrig comes on the lead. And close attendant Sexton. But Gehrig has marked this one. Wiapunda moves for him now. The kick goes in that direction. Too much carried. Ulio knocked it away. Collides there with Koutafidis. Gathers the ball. Gets it across to Rice. Rice goes out wide. Intended for Allen, who has to stretch. But did well.
Got 2 in front of him though, Dennis. Got Ratton on the lead.
It's been good since he's come onto the ground. Allen, Ratton from the point of the square. Kicks down. Too much carry that time for Pearce. He was appealing for the free kick. Metropolis kicks the ball off the ground and through for a behind.
Just got foot to that too. He wanted to kick it through with his right boot. Missed it. The follow through with the left got it through eventually.
Must say too, KB, these uniforms are very samey, aren't they? When you look at them.
McIntosh. He's had a terrific season. Bradley's up running around with Justin Murphy, so that's good news for the Blues. Now Silvani is just asking the umpire, can we get him to kick the ball in? And there's Hamill. Outside of 50.
Some indecision there by the West Coast players there. Crabb, Cousins and also Guy McKenna.
Silvani was leading, but the kick's gone to Koutafidis. It's going to bounce through. It's a goal to Hamill.
Well, their first goal was a good one by Murphy out of the centre. It rolled through, and this one, again, as KB said, good distance. Koutafidis got into front position. Morrison tried to hold him out. The ball just carried both players and broke left beautifully for him. Very confident start by the Blues.
So Carlton rank outsiders in this game, up by 13 points at the moment. Approaching quarter time. Allen up early. Gardner got a hand to it though. Fell at his feet. Camporelli over the ball. And the bounce alongside the centre circle. 4-4-2-3. Michael Malthouse looking on anxiously.
Looks like he's going to make a late change too. Andrew Donnelly getting ready to come on.
Kemp overran the ball. Hume sockers it off the ground. Camporelli's hand pass down towards half forward. Whitnell collides there with Banfield. Taken by Hamill. Hamill sends it out wide. Allen, the left footer, coming back towards the middle. Tugs it across the body. It bounces down towards the 50. Well trapped by Banfield, who kicks it up towards the wing to Ulio in best position out there. Got it on the ground down in front. Cousins Crumbing nicely. Releases Gehrig. Gehrig kicks it down towards the 50. Manton kept his eye on the ball but dropped the mark. He tried to claim it. Cousins close to the boundary line. Ben Cousins gets by Ratton, pulls it back towards the middle. Good kick too. Now Gardner can run inside the 50. Can he finish? No. Sprays it right behind.
It's amazing in a game of footy, even at training, when a mistake is made or shots at goal are missing, it just runs through the team a little bit like a disease, and it's hard to cut it out.
Wasting opportunities, the Eagles. Lang goes short. Finds Locke, who comes away. Goes short and finds Allen. Looks to be in good touch. He's on the half-back flank. Been a good start by the Blues. Whitnell is the target in front. Jakovic from behind. It's a loose ball. It's one for the Crummers. Ratton does well. Finally trickles over the line. They'll toss it back in. Let's go back to the boundary line.
KB, we should make Ross Glendinning a doctor, because he's read it like a book. Bradley has torn his thigh, and there's just a question mark now whether he can come back on or not. So they're just going through the motions.
Kudafi's got it down to Clappe. Quick hands again back to Locke, who's been very busy in this first term. Jakovic tried to take a one-hander. Great hands by Whitnell. Danger here. Silvani goes to ground. And they'll toss it back in. So a big chance for the Blues with just 13 seconds left.
Yes, and in that 13 seconds of change is going to be affected. Gardner comes off, Donnelly on. The player doing well for Carlton is Whitnell, centre-half forward.
So the Blues with a chance. Whitnell took it out of the air. Banfield goes to the ground. Thought he got a push in the back. Big chance. Here's Hume. 25 metres out. A late goal for the Blues across the face of goals. As the siren sounds are behind. But a terrific opening term for Carlton, who came to this game, I would say, as rank outsiders, Roscoe.
Yeah, no question. I think the idea of moving Silvani to full forward, even though he hasn't, I don't think he's even had a kick, has he? But the fact that they've matched up well in the back half has justified that move forward. And through the middle of the ground, they're getting plenty of the footy and are more direct when they go forward. West Coast with opportunities, but inaccurate, Dennis.
Quarter time. 4-5 plays 2-4 at Subi. It's quarter time here at Subiaco Oval. Carlton lead at 4-5 to 2-4. The margin 13 points. Murphy, Pearce, Hamill and Franchina the goals for the Blues. For the West Coast Eagles, Cousins and Weapunda. Two other games in progress in the AFL this afternoon. Both these games in the third term at Waverley. It's Hawthorn against the Western Bulldogs. The Bulldogs on top now, 82 to 68. And at the MCG, the bitterest of rivals, Melbourne and Collingwood on a tight one. It's Melbourne up by 6 points.
The 1998 AFL Premiership season proudly brought to you by Telstra, making life easier. Victoria Bitter, for a hard-earned thirst. Cadbury Mark of the Year, and McDonald's Double Quarter Pounder with cheese.
Adrian Barrage is down on the boundary. What news?
Then big dilemma for David Parkin, what to do with Craig Bradley. He definitely is injured and he won't be starting the rest of this game. John Worsfold hasn't come on for the Eagles yet. And Mick Malthouse spent a lot of time with Michael Gardner and Glenn Jakovich in that break, asking him to tighten up on Lance Whitnell, who's been quite good. Back to you.
So a body blow for the Blues. Craig Bradley, he averages 26 possessions a game against the Eagles over their last 6 meetings. Incredible figures. Off the ground and won't be back.
Yes, that left thigh is definitely strapped.
4-5-2-4. The Eagles now should be going to the scoring end. The Breeze with a couple of goals, we suggest. Ball up on the ball is dragged off it. Held a long time in the tackle. In fact, it's going the other way, is it?
Yes, umpire coming from the other 50 area, Gavin Dorr, saying the Carlton player taken high. There it is. Caught up.
Yes. Jason Ball penalised. As Ratton kicks it down towards half forward then for the Blues. Whitnell was up, fisted away by McIntosh. Hume waiting in front, chips the ball for space now. Pearce didn't do very well. Enabled Metropolis to get by him. Buttering up again is Hume. It spills to Silvani, his first kick of the afternoon. It's a behind. Didn't miss by much.
Yes, very much indecision there by Pearce, almost cost him a shot at goal there.
So the Blues by 14 points. We mentioned young Locke playing a terrific first quarter. Had the ball 10 times. Just one of the youngsters making his mark for Carlton. Whitnell with the sit from behind, the high flyer at ground level. Banfield stayed down from centre wing. Daylight second. Whitnell the hard chaser. Banfield towards Weapunda, out in front. Fuster. Oh, a great mark.
No idea how he took that, Kev.
That's a contender for the Cadbury Mark of the Year. Watch this again. Oh, Mark Taylor would be proud of that.
It was simply sensational.
Ball should have come to his right, but in fact faded to his left and had to go back the other way. Great catch.
Well, we saw him in the finals last year against North Melbourne. Looked to be a promising player. He's pushed this wide. So it's a chance for the high flyers, big pack of players, off hands. In fact, it's over the line on the full.
Well, watch this mark again, but if he saw the kick from behind, that's exactly where he ran to. That's where the ball went.
Very athletic, that mark. Kick, not the equal of it. Now Porter's got the ball in the back pocket. Big fellows for Carlton doing well. Allen and Porter. Porter kicks it around the boundary line, very close to the line. McKenna drifts across, takes the mark on his chest. Comes square to Matera. Matera down towards right half forward. Side trailing by 14 points. Kicks for space. Mark held, more conventional mark that one by Brendan Fuster. He's had a series of nagging injuries. Great to see him getting a chance to play.
Yes, he's recovered pretty quickly, Dennis, hasn't he, from a broken collarbone. He's come back pretty strongly.
Needs to start this one out to the left. The Breeze should push it left to right. He aimed for the kickoff line. He sets it up. Contest in the opposite pocket. Ball goes back and takes the mark. So suddenly, the marking prowess of Ball and Fuster having an effect. Jason Ball, a sharp angle, as you can see, in the left full forward pocket, but only about 15 metres out. He grew up barracking for Carlton.
and started the season so well, then was suspended.
Important kick, this one. The Eagles needing a goal. Runs around slightly, hits the post, slams it into the post. Margin back to 13 points.
Well, I suggest there's been 4 shots at goal now that should have been goals. That one and 3, particularly on the run in the first quarter inside 50, should have been goals.
Lang goes short and finds Hume. Quick hands the lock. So good in that first quarter. Hugs the boundary line.
Clever kick, KB. He was under pressure. Had to keep it low. John Worsfold there, as we see the AFL website.
So Porter in the ruck has been alternating with Matthew Allen. Did well in that second half of that first quarter. D'Urlio towards the boundary line, paddles it along. Picking up David Wirapunda, who kicked a goal in the first quarter. And D'Urlio has the job.
Good matchup too, Kev. Yeah, with pace, experience versus youth, but D'Urlio's pace certainly a match for Wirapunda.
Porter got his hands on the ball. They pile on top. Rice comes away with it. Chance for Jackson Crabb. Gainer beats him over the line with Koutafidis. Just another one of the young players, Jackson Crabb. Roscoe coming through for the Eagles.
Yeah, from Claremont's been outstanding form for them, playing through the middle of the ground, so deserves his opportunity.
Again, Porter to the front. McKay had it, lost it. Crabb runs into a brick wall. Koutafidi comes away. Kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Coming out in front was Matera. It's got young Franchina to beat. Matera was held. No free kick. Franchina comes away with the ball, then throws it out in front. Eagles fans want a free kick. Murphy driven into the ground. Listen to the roar now. Unhappy with that.
Should have been a free kick, Matera. No question about that. 3 free kicks there. The third one was paid. And that was it, in the back.
Murphy kicked the goal in the first quarter, drills it down towards Silvani, goes to the ground, Crabb slaps the ball on, taken away by Locke, gives it back to Pearce. The Blues go forward into the goal square, pushing and shoving. There's a great mark taken by Reid. Beach Camporelli plays on quickly, gets it back to Peter Matera, comes away from the half-back flank, Jakovic in front. Marks in front of Whitnell. So the Eagles under pressure, they trail by 13 points. Jakovic looking for Fraser Geary, pushed under the ball by Sexton. Wirapunda, great hands to Kemp. Murphy the chaser. Kemp, a clever kick. The bounce was perfect for Schofield. He's got a chance to set it up to Donnelly. Start on the interchange bench. Advantage is going to be paid. Donnelly's going to waltz into the goal square and bring up the 2 Calicos.
A good set up there from the back half, particularly the quick hands of David Wirapunda to get the ball onto Kemp, who got that ball forward and set it into the path of his teammate, which is Andrew Donnelly. That was the holding infringement against Manton on Fuster. Advantage paid, and Donnelly was never going to be caught by Andrew McKay. And the quick goal they wanted, they should have had from Jason Ball. They now get it from Andrew Donnelly.
Carlton led it by 7 points, 4-6-3-5. Porter knocks it wide of the pack. Crabb coming through, could have been taken high. It spills across the ball. Hurried kick, McKay goes back, drops the mark. And McKay's got a problem, bearing down his Schofield. Rice controlled it pretty well. Waterman held him a long time in the tackle. And the free kick will go to Rice. The ball was knocked away.
Yeah, the ball was jarred free, and Waterman definitely held onto him for too long.
On the outer side, Sexton now accepts the short pass, kicks it up towards half-forward Whitnell. Impressive young player, hit the ground running. He tried to thread the needle and get the ball to Manton. In the road was Banfield. Manton comes up with the ball, though. It comes back towards him again. In there is Murphy. Banfield battles on for the West Coast Eagles, and the kick is going to Matera.
Manton king for dragging in, Dennis,
Umpire indicating the wrong way there momentarily. Gavin Diller, which the crowd didn't like.
Well, hang on. What's he doing? He is giving to Carlton, is he?
I'm not sure. I've got no idea.
I thought Manton was penalised for dragging the ball in.
Wants to give the free kick to Fuster.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. Fuster was late into that pack, but gives the hand pass off. Matera goes wide, pumped out of it Cousins. Ratton with the balance, playing a fine game. Ratton gets past Cousins, goes in short. Koutafidis has it. He's right on the wing. Off the ball, Ratton and Cousins colliding. A couple of elk around the outer side. Fuster was up high, could have hurt himself coming down. Hamill didn't have the ball. Now he's got it, slung, holding the ball. Well, he's a bit stiff there, Hamill. He was grabbed before he picked the ball up.
Jakovic goes short. He's looking for McKenna. It was a bad kick, put him under a lot of pressure. 60 metres out from Carlton's goal. Hamill goes in hard. The tackler on Jakovic. Morrison paddles the ball towards the line in front of Koutafidis.
Safe to say the tempo's lifted a little bit.
Yes, and Hamill's slow to get up. Already been in the umpire's book for being hit.
Ball, a beautiful tap down to Cousins, who roads it well. On the burst. Kicks the ball inside 50. This is a great kick to Donnelly. It's 45 metres out, directly in front.
There's a bit of class about this player too. I was surprised they started him on the bench. He does like that roaming half-forward role and complements someone like Gehrig very well. As Hamill comes off the ground, we watch the kick of Donnelly.
Donnelly directly in front. He's missed. So a bad miss to Donnelly. It was a good build-up. You see Hamill on the interchange bench being worked on.
Margin back to 6 points. Lang to himself. He's well enough. Kicks it up towards the wing. Ball. He's having an influence on this game. Reaching over the top of Porter, taking the mark. He's forward at the wing, down towards half forward, Jason Ball. Now he's played on. Franchina virtually alongside, had a piece of the ball momentarily. Ball's kick as a result, not very good. Camporelli to Hume. Is it right half back? Hume drives it up towards the wing. In from the side, Porter hands to it, couldn't hang on. Silvani, did he keep it in? No, he did. Cross the line. So a boundary throw in. 12.5 minutes till half time. 4-6, 3-6. Plenty of errors in this game, but plenty of endeavour too. Steve Silvani back after suspension. Camping on the half-forward line at the moment. Behind the pack, it's Reid. Can he get away from Locke? Yes, he can. Kicks inside the 50. Donnelly seen a lot of the ball in the last few minutes. Tries to pull it back. Bacon square. Gehrig is down there. And well done by the defender. Just getting a fist in there, Sexton. Not getting it across the line. Aaron Hamill.
Silvani's come out to centre half forward and Whitnall's gone to the full forward posse. They've just done a swap. Break it up a bit.
Well, he's been doing pretty well, Lance Whitnall.
He's working pretty hard, Kovac. Just a bit of a breather, I think, for 5 minutes.
He's had 4 marks, but Silvani has been out of the action himself. So the Blues to Koutafidis, the high flyer. Again, it's a loose ball. Murphy, clever. Gets the ball back to Camporelli. Kicks the ball back towards centre half forward. Silvani in the action. Thumped away. Good strong play by Metropolis. Pounced on by Matera. Caught by Franchina. So the youngster Franchina on screen has got the big job playing on Peter Matera. Under 12 minutes left in this second quarter. Carlton lead by 5 points. Ball. Took it out. Comes back to Waterman. They've got the loose players. They set it up. Morrison to Cousins. Looks very lively today. Inside 50. Fuster. He's got it.
So he had to sit from behind and he likes that. The ball carried sufficiently well enough from the Cousins kick. He's working very hard today, Ben Cousins. Been fairly constructive, and Fuster proving a bit of a danger up there. Giving Damien Lang something to think about.
Well, he's certainly athletic. Took that great mark before. It's a great stretch mark. Can he convert? This to put the Eagles in front by a point. Again, it's a poor kick. Hangs his head in shame.
Carlton lead by 4 points. Adrian.
Dennis, looks like Steven Silvani's about to go back to fullback to take over on Fuster after he's been very present in the last couple of minutes.
Well, I think that's a good move because he hasn't done anything on the forward line yet, Roscoe.
Meanwhile, Houston back in the action, took it across the line before giving it to Banfield. So it'll be tossed in.
Yep, out of bounds. Just the left hand came inside before the contact was made.
Over the top, Koutafides driving it brilliantly as Kemp runs inside the 50. Very high kick floating down towards the pocket. Sexton and Gehrig. Body work in there. Neither touched the ball initially before it went across the line, as it turns out. Plenty of tension at Subiaco Oval. 30-26. Two sides in the grip of losing at the moment. Silvani, Wiapunda, Koutafides. Silvani, was he tripped? Yes, he was, according to the umpire. Wiapunda sticking out the hand. Silvani getting the 50. Which will carry him up towards the centre square. No one standing the mark, so Silvani runs past the umpire and kicks towards half forward. Whitnell had it bounce off his chest. It's inside the centre square, but Whitnell will get a free. Advantage though paid. Camporelli finds Pearce.
Yes, holding onto the shoulder, the umpire said to Whitnell. Advantage paid, as Dennis said.
So Pearce, this not beyond him. Opens up nicely for a left footer.
There's the free, just dragging the left arm was Djakovic on Whitnell. No, perfect spot for Pearce here, Dennis, no question.
The margin currently at 4 points. This for Carlton to lead by 10. Pearce bending it around. Has he got it enough? Yes, he has. Just enough. It's a goal. He's got two.
Well, he becomes the important player up there now. Whitnell's working extremely hard at centre half forward. Had a bit of a spell at full forward, 3 or 4 minutes. Now back out to centre half forward with Silvani going down the back half, and Pearce is the fellow who has to step up now and provide the lead and the focal point, and then finish off with goals like this.
Carlton by 10 points, 2 goals to Pearce. Been picked up by Metropolis. See the man for him?
He's played that role before.
So push out. Wiapunda also went to ground, picked up by Simmons. 70 metres out, goes short again, looking for Fuster. Through the hand, Silvani now playing in defence. And they'll throw it back in. Craig Bradley on screen. As Adrian Barrage told us in the first quarter, looks like he's torn his thigh muscle. Matt Clappe also on the interchange bench, and young Chris Massey playing his first game today for the Blues. Allen in front. Schofield took it away from Kemp. Bounces through for a behind. Schofield has had 7 possessions. He's been a pretty handy player. Sexton. He's done well on Fraser Gehrig. It's a beautiful kick to Franchina. Five, 6:36 the Blues, 3-9-27 West Coast. It's Franchina in his first season of AFL football. Here's Whitnell. The high fly was also McIntosh.
And he's hurt
very
too.
heavily. He's hurt himself. Very impressive player, Lance Whitnell, always in front, attacks the ball hard.
And he's working hard to go with it too, Kev. He's not just standing in that position, working back and forward and sideways.
Djakovic locks horns, wins the tap down to Simmons to Reid, who's been reported. Head to the centre square, kicks the ball out wide, looking for Fuster on the lead. He's got Silvani the beat. Centre surge pushes him over, goes to ground. Wiapunda pounced on it. Danger here for Carlton. Hume has got back in front of Kemp. Been a handy first half for the youngster as well. Kicks the ball wide. The loose player has been set up. Camporelli on the half-back flank. Gets the go-ahead from Locke. Kicks down towards the centre wing. Here comes Whitnell once more. Great mark. Shipping in front and taking it is Waterman.
Having a fine season. Lays it off to Djakovic. McIntosh just on his feet. Had to wait for that one. Hand passes down towards centre half forward. Donnelly got it to Cousins. Cousins into daylight. 45 metres out. Kicks a goal. His second.
Again, the class of Cousins. I said he's worked pretty hard today. In fact, he looks as if he's suffering from a virus, Ben Cousins. I don't know that he is, but every time he's had a burst on the ball, he's had to stop and really regather his strength and his breath. That's the one they needed. They've had plenty of opportunities. That's the one they need to put through with the work they've put in. They've gone forward in this quarter more often than Carlton have. Just haven't been able to score.
The Eagles drag it back to 3 points. Just under 8 minutes of action left in the second term. Looks pretty sharp today, Ben Cousins. Was booted to Waterman. And pass astray, taken by Hamill. Rockets the ball forward, looking for a Ratton in game number 150. Has it taken away by Reid. It's all tied up.
Well played by Reid too. Knew the quick handle was going to come from Ratton to the player on the overlap. His teammate, I think, was Locke going past. Reid just cut that off.
So Ball just slaps the ball down to Reid. Again, Cousins. Great stuff through the centre square. Just tumbles the ball forward. Coming out is Manton. Feeds the ball off to Julio, who just pumps the ball back towards the centre wing. Murphy out in front of Simmons. Got a bad bounce. He'll get support from McKenna. Simmons can weigh up his options. Goes short. He's looking for Kemp. Hume did well. Got his body in line. Kemp quick to recover. Gets the ball back to Simmons. Still on the centre wing. This is a poor kick. And Sexton playing in front of Fraser Geary. Takes the mark. Such a great player, Sexton. Fraser Geary has been in great form. Just had the 3 possessions and 2 marks so far. Sexton looking for Allen in front. Big fist away at ground level. McKenna over the top of Murphy. Ball. Got it back to Simmons. Back to Ball. Hurried kick inside 50. Fraser Geary says, what about a free kick? And he's got it.
We'll try and pop this too, yes. Sexton just caught out of position with his back to the footy and just infringed on Gary there. Pulled his jumper initially.
Not a bad spot for Fraser Gehrig, the left footer. He's the Eagles' leading goal kicker this season with 19. Nobody else in double figures. Fraser Gehrig just outside the 50. Unloads. Distance no problem. The accuracy not there. Behind. 2 points the margin. Carlton lead. 6 minutes out from half time. Real battle. Two sides, as we've said, with plenty of losses in recent times. Can one remember how to win? Goals at a premium. Rice. Members side with the kick. Reid goes up. Smallest man there. Takes a good grab. He's about 55 metres out. He's been impressive today. Ran with Mark Rusciuto last week. Obviously, the coaching staff has a pretty high opinion of this youngster from East Fremantle. He gave the ball to Schofield, but the umpire demanding it come back. So Reid will kick from outside the 50, but with the breeze behind him. Umpire Mitchell setting the angle to the degree. So Reid tries to go short. Donnelly is marked on his chest about 35 metres out.
Yes, they created that space, which they've obviously done at training. Just had everyone outside that 50 and those players inside were back towards the goal square. So Donnelly could run into that 30-metre area. That's where he took the mark.
So a goal here. The West Coast Eagles will be in front for one of the few times today. In fact, I don't think they've been in front. Carlton got the first goal. So Donnelly kicked 5 a fortnight ago. Splits the middle. Eagles lead.
That may be all they need just to push ahead. Now with that 4-point lead, I said they've had plenty to play in this second quarter and gone in that side, that attacking area far more often than Carlton have. They just haven't been able to convert those attacking move into goals. So they could be the spark they need.
Testing time now for Carlton. First time the Eagles have been in front. Blues started well. Porter in the ruck against Ball. Camporelli in there as well.
And And a move kept made by David Park, and Lang has now gone on to Donnelly, and Manton will come forward. And Manton will be picked up by Ashley McIntosh, who's still sitting inside the back 50.
So they ball it up. Smack bang in the centre of Subiaco Oval. Porter slaps the ball on Hamill with strength. McKenna the tackler. Morrison, quick hands back to Schofield. Gets plenty of support from Banfield. Centre wing to the half-forward line. Fraser Gehrig in front. Fisted away by Sexton. And in fact claims the mark.
That's fair enough. Got his fist on it, Kev. That's quite right. Then got the ball the second time to mark.
Goes short. Finds Ratton. Twice the Blues' best and fairest winner. This is dangerous kick. May have opened it up a bit too early. Simmons on centre wing. Feeds the ball back to Reid. It can go over the top to Donnelly. He'll be right on 50. Back to Waterman. To Cousins, the danger man. He's booted too. Gets great support from Fraser Gehrig. 35 metres out. Touched on the line. No! He's got it.
Three goals there to Ben Cousins. 2 in this quarter. Donnelly's got another 2 as well as Simmons comes off for Wooden, who's been the only player that looks dangerous up there apart from Donnelly. He's got some great footy through the midfield. His running's been great. Deserved a goal. That was touched behind the line.
Possessions for Ben Cousins, 3 of them goals, and suddenly the Eagles skip away. They lead by 10 points. Let's go at it. Porter slaps it wide. That hasn't been working though today. Picked up by Wooden just on the ground in place of Simmons. He hand passes to Banfield, who boots it down towards half forward. Going back is Lang. Controlled it to his own advantage. Goes in short, looking for Hamill. A kind bounce, run down from behind by McKenna. It's down across to Koutafidis. They need more from him. Kicks inside the 50. McIntosh has it now. Hand passes to a contest. Comes back to redeem the situation. Did pretty well, but the hand pass too tall for Jakovic. Whitmore tried to hand pass to Murphy. Jakovic got a timely hand in there. Now Wooden to Reid. Dragged down on the outer side by Locke. It spills wide. Wooden into space though. He's at right half back. Brilliantly charged down on the outer side by Hamill. It's out of bounds and a boundary throw in. Wonderful smother. Wouldn't seem to be clear.
It might just hold them in with a chance to get it back inside the 50 for a score.
Tossed in. Down in front. It's Carlton who work it inside their 50. Ratton got the kick. This is Matera in the road. Little chip. McKenna. It was touched. It's across to Morrison. Morrison hurriedly inside the centre square, missed by Waterman. McKay in trouble, tries to fend off Cousins and is penalised. Cousins will get the free kick. Ratton 13 possessions, Kemp 13. Cousins now moves to 12. Inside the centre square, the side leading by 10 points. 2 3/4 minutes to half time. The kick has come to Donnelly, but I think it's coming back to Waterman. The crowd might be impressed with this. Chris Waterman will have the ball inside the centre square, averaging 22 possessions a game this season. And again this afternoon having a good one. Coming up for his 9th possession. Probing kick inside the 50. Fuster goes up, fisted away by Silvani. Porter cast in the role of a rover. Inside his own defensive 50, kicks towards the outer side. Hamill trying hard, battling with McKenna. Hamill dragged down, but he had the ball. No free kick. Wooden goes to Waterman. Waterman a looping hand pass. Sold ball into trouble. Ratton takes him down. Play on's the call. McKay comes away on the wing. Kicks it down towards half forward. Silvani, now it's Massey on the ground. Missed it. The crumbs come to Matera. Matera kicks down towards the 50 for his team. Loose ball at the back. The Ulio picks it up. Gehrig is there, dragged him down, holding the ball.
Well, he didn't see him, Roscoe.
You say no sense of what was around him, KB. You're quite right, Ron Ulio, and Gehrig just coming from the side just cleans him up. Another chance on goal for Fraser Gehrig. His previous shot from a similar distance missing.
He's kicked 19 goals for the season, yet to kick a goal today. Fraser Gehrig to put West Coast 16 points in front. can hear the groans. Again, it's a poor kick. Some wasted opportunities by the Eagles.
So the positive thing, which I know they've taken out their last couple of games, Kevin, is that they have been actually getting the footy often enough, at times more than the opposition. They just haven't been able to convert. So today's happening again.
Fuster got his hands on the ball first. Rice, hurried kick out of defence. It'll set it up here for ball. Now he's got Wooden loose. Feeds it off to Matera. From inside the centre square, short. Wirapunda couldn't get there first. Hume can for the Blues. So some rebound football by Carlton. Goes short, looking for Hamill. Just needs a kind bounce. Rocketed the ball too hard for Hume. It did well. Under pressure. Carlton through Hume. From the centre wing, goes short, looking for Anchina. It's too much carry on the ball. Couldn't take it. The tackler out there was Whitnell. Going to ground was Pearce. Picked up by Manton.
Free kick coming back to Metropolis, KB, being held. There's an Eagles player down by the looks.
So Pearce is down. Looks like it's that Bluey McKenna.
50 metres.
50 metres as well. So Daniel Metropolis has got 50. McKenna looks to be hurt.
Not sure if it's a quad or a knee, Kev.
Metropolis looking for Fraser Gehrig. Fuster couldn't take it on the first bounce. Gehrig, clever, had it, lost it. Right on 50 for the Eagles. Banfield just threw the ball away. Coming in hard was for Carlton was Koutafidis. Comes back to Morrison. Kicks a high ball, just wobbles it. Kemp running with the flight. Coming out was McIntosh. As McKenna is carried from the field.
He was holding his right leg in some form, Kev, so I'm not sure what it is there. But McIntosh finding himself forward because of the Carlton thrust down that way, just following his man. And an opportunity to kick a goal.
So a blow for the Eagles right on half-time with McKenna being carried from the field. But McIntosh with a chance to extend the lead by 16 points. He'll be kicking from virtually on 50. You'll hear the roar. Just a behind.
Well, they worked pretty hard that quarter, West Coast, to get themselves in front. They made enormous hard work of it with their conversion, but their work ethic was very good. As we just see the, let's have a look at McKenna again. It's not particularly specific. He's fallen awkwardly there on his right leg, and that's the problem at the moment. He's now been taken off on a stretcher. They've pushed themselves in front, Dennis, by 11 points and go to the half-time break with a bit of confidence, I'd suggest.
Yes, a couple of game superstars missing. You would assume in the third term. Graham McKenna off on a stretcher. Craig Bradley went down early. So half-time and the West Coast Eagles on top now. 6-11 to 5-6. What a glorious day here in the West. Half-time at Subiaco Oval. And the West Coast Eagles lead by 11 points after they trailed by 13 at quarter time. At 6-11 to 5. Ben Cousins has booted 3. Andrew Donnelly has got 2. And for the Blues, Brad Pearce has booted 2 goals. Well, Hawthorn have won 2 of their last 3 games. This afternoon, they're playing the Western Bulldogs out at Waverley. Here are some highlights.
Gone now, Hollander's drop back. Here's the marking target. Great spoil from the defence of the Bulldogs. Roving here by Taylor. Dunstall sitting back. Thank you very much. 1, 2, bang, 3 goals, Jason. So Prediok going back now to Dunstall. He's going to get tested here very, very quickly. Dunstall, Prediok. Prediok gets a spoil in. Dunstall's got the recovery. Hello! Whoa! Soccer, Aussie rules, whatever you like. Danger. Montgomery. There is no one between Montgomery and the goals. How many bounces do you want to have, son? Have 3, have 4, kick the goal. She's an all-the-way one.
To the point of the square. Darcy's hardly had it today. Rawlings, a former full forward, in the back line. It goes to Martin. Beats 1, beats 2. Oh, what a goal!
That game in the final quarter, and the Western Bulldogs now pulling away, as you can see. They lead by 30 points. It's 17 goals, 9 to 12-9. Hawthorn and the Western Bulldogs, maybe a game worth keeping. If you'd like to do that, or keep any game for that matter, you can name a game. What you do is order on 1-800-035-665. That's 1-800-035-665. The Western Bulldogs leading that one by 30 points. Of course, here at Subiaco Oval, we've got the West Coast Eagles up by 11 points. Just a reminder, coming up tomorrow night, time for Talking Footy around the network. Our special guest is Tony Shaw. Check your local guides. 10:40 in Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth, 11:45 Sydney and Brisbane. Tony Shaw is on the couch. We'll be back to Subiaco Oval right after this. It's half-time here at Subiaco Oval. Carlton led at quarter time, 4-5-2 for the margin, 13 points. At half-time, the West Coast Eagles have turned that around. They're in front now by 11, 6-11 to 5-6.
7 Sport hope you're enjoying this match in the 1998 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
Well, Melbourne and Collingwood played twice last season. The Magpies won both of them very easily. This afternoon, they're meeting again at the MCG.
Phoebe. Farmer. Oh, here's excitement. Look at this hand pass. That is sensational for Travis Johnston, and he should kick a goal. Takes the mark and is quick to play on Deviney. Penetrating kick. Smith the flyer. He's only kicked a few. He's kicked 4 goals so far this year. Now he's kicked 5.
Now he's got Richardson as his direct opponent.
He can, quick though, I think. He can kick a ball too. Look at this. And how's that from the youngster? Wants to run round, play on and kick a goal. Crow had it and lost it. Watson to ground. Shovels it out the back door. Well done for Collingwood. Pugsley centering to Shodol. Good forward football by the Collingwood player. This to level the scores as Steins leaves the ground for Schwartz. Scores are level here at the MCG.
Approaching full time at the MCG, Melbourne 98, Collingwood 91. So that's a tight one, 15-8 to 13-13. And one of our features in season 1998 is the Cadbury Mark of the Year. And here's the latest from the footy panel this morning.
Now to last week's winner of the Cadbury Mark of the Week, Justin Lepich of the Brisbane Lions. And last week's winning viewer who nominated that mark by Justin Lepich was Rhonda Fleming from West Beach, South Australia.
The Cadbury AFL Mark of the Year. It's not only the players trying to win. You could win an AFL family trip interstate just by picking the Cadbury AFL Mark of the Week.
Now let's have a look at this week's contenders. For the Western Bulldogs, this is Brent Montgomery against North Melbourne at Optus Oval.
He may already have Mark of the Year parcelled up. This one not quite as spectacular, KB, but what a beauty.
They go forward
to
again.
The MCG, Ben Holland for Richmond.
Gee, the marking contest in the backyard of that family must have been interesting. Can they take a mark, those two boys?
And in the same match, Matthew Bishop of the Demons.
Big leap, Bishop. Oh, the Richmond player down there was a huge leap. Kicks it out the white.
North are going to need a mark.
And here's a mark that shows the power of Wayne Carey at the MCG over Sydney.
And Sandy had his eyes written all over that ball. It's just the typical Wayne Carey mark. Floating across, jumps early, gets his opponent out of the contest. That's just a terrific mark.
Now John Blakey, a bloke who's played over 250 AFL games, showing no signs of slowing down.
His teammate John Blakey, and he almost caught him on the back of the head for his troubles. Have a look at this. There's Blakey.
And to this week's contenders, Brent Montgomery of the Western Bulldogs, Ben Holland of Richmond, Matthew Bishop of Melbourne, Wayne Carey of North Melbourne, and John Blakey also of the Kangaroos.
And now for your chance to win. See if you can pick which of those contenders the panel will choose as the Cadbury AFL Mark of the Week. If your selection is the first correct entry drawn next week, you'll win a family trip to see your AFL team play interstate. Just send any 2 Cadbury wrappers in a standard envelope with your name, address and selection on the back to Cadbury AFL Mark of the Year, Lot Bag 100, Pennant Hills, New South Wales 17771. On weekdays, you can hear the contenders again by ringing 1902 555 693 or by contacting our website. The Cadbury AFL Mark of the Year.
So the Cadbury Mark of the Year. Safe to say, I think, look out for the name Brendan Fewster next week. That was a terrific mark. He took it half forward in the second term for the West Coast Eagles. And repeating too, Craig Bradley and Guy McKenna, both under a cloud for the second half of this game. Half-time at Subiaco Oval, and the West Coast Eagles lead it by 11 points. We'll be back shortly. market postcard. What could be better, Roscoe? On the fridge than that, eh? It's on yours.
As long as the fridge is full.
Cut to the chase, cut to the chase. Adrian Barrage is down on the boundary. Adrian?
Thanks, Dan. Yes, it was a very, very worried Eagles change rooms at half-time. Obviously, that injury to Guy McKenna upsetting everybody. But he is the world champion at disguising injuries. Let me tell you, if he has gone off on a stretcher as he did, then he has a serious injury. It is his right knee, they're saying, but it could be just a jarred knee or a kick on the knee. So we probably won't know till later in the week when he has x-rays. But at this stage, a big blow for the West Coast Eagles. Very, very unlikely to see him play again, and he's not out there in the middle at the moment. Other news, Craig Bradley also won't be seen again. He's become the official barracker for the Carlton side on the bench here. He just gets out, pats the boys on the butts and tells them how to play and gets in the young guys' ears. He won't be playing, so two of the superstars out of the game. John Worsfold, though, will be introduced into the game in the second half, so Woosh has been sitting on the bench for half a game, so fair to say he'll probably be pretty fired up. I think it'll be a pretty big third quarter, Dennis.
Thanks, Adrian. As we said during the second term, goals at a premium. Who do you like from here, KB?
You've got to like the West Coast Eagles. I think Carlton got away to a terrific start. For them to go on with this game would have been nice for them to be in front at half-time, but for the Eagles to come back and peg them back in that second quarter. I think, Roscoe, you said that last week they were very good in the first half. It was the second half they fell away, and if they were going to be really competitive, certainly would be in the first half. So it's a big test now for the Blues to see if they can hang on. If they can hang in there, well, of course, you never know what happens in football, but Bradley being from the field is a big blow to Carlton because they've got so many young players in their side. In fact, a few of them have done pretty well, I think, with Franchina playing on Matera. It looks a bit of a mismatch, but Matera, whilst he's been a good player, hasn't been an absolute star. And Kemp has got young Hume as his opponent, and Kemp has been very good, but Hume has picked up 11 possessions himself in that first half.
And now Franchina's gone to Ben Cousins, and just giving him a bit of a hurry up. But last week, Kev, second half, Carlton 3 goals to 15. Port Adelaide kicking 15 goals and just ran right over the top of them.
Matthew Allen starting on the bench. That surprises me a bit. I thought he's been a good player.
Jason Ball on the bench for West Coast.
So Porter doing the rucking opposed to Gardner. Fell at their feet. Big scramble. Trying to go through there was Kemp. 13 possessions to half-time. Held to it. Another ball up. Been in charge this afternoon. Mitchell Dore. Gavin Dorr bounces it down alongside the centre circle. They find a draw again. Wooden feeds it back. Banfield off his step, floats it down towards centre half forward. Donnelly has had a real influence on this game. It's a good grab about 55 metres out. He's like that. Sometimes hot, sometimes cold. Hard man to match up with. He's quick, but he takes a good mark. Little chip pass out wide. Wooden lost his footing. As a result, all sorts of problems. Kudafiti socked the ball away. Runs onto it now, carries it up towards the wing, kicking through the wing towards half forward. Murphy missed it, so did McIntosh. Here comes Jakovic, picks it up, hand passes to Waterman. Waterman goes inside, nicely done. Morrison missed the target. Wooden goes after it again, was taken high. No free kick.
No question, the first tackle, the right arm of Hamill took him around the head, the umpire allowing that to go on.
Well, that's a full brother to the Jason Dunstall headlock in slow motion. Here's a ball up, flicked down over the back by Gardner and across the line. There's no .GLE or BAR, but there is a .com. Tossed in, knocked forward by Porter, taken by Kudafidis across the body. Murphy, who started well, to Hamill. Liked his game. He's tried hard, Hamill. Kicks a crossfield. Clappe will need to go. Because going like the Clappe is coming from the other direction. There was Matera pushing the ball wide of the pack. Cousins, well done, Cousins. Feeds it back to Matera. Matera to McIntosh. McIntosh forward of half back. Prods it towards half forward. De Ulio is in the row.
Playing on Wirapunda. Obviously, David Parkin has prioritised Cousins as the danger man. 3 goals in that first half with 12 possessions. So he's gone on to Ben Cousins, young Franchina. So we see Matt Clappe. He's on the edge of the centre square. Pearce on a long lead. It's been on it. And too much carry on the ball. Murphy, the high flyer, from behind. Metropolis goes to ground. Reid, who's been a very lively player for the Eagles, kicks the ball wide. So Waterman gets the bounce he wanted, then just rockets ball back to Jakovic. He's had a very interesting duel with Whitnell. Comes away with that casual bounce and kicks the ball wide. So a transfer of play Gearick can't get there in time. It's been taken by Clappe. So on the rebound, the Blues go short. Hard up on the boundary line, squeezed out there is young Massey, playing his first game, has the ball knocked out of his arms.
And hasn't it been a game of mistakes? It certainly hasn't been free-flowing, and when players have got free quite often today, they've picked out an opposition player 40 or 50 metres away, as Jakovic did.
So a throw in on the half-forward line for the Blues. Wooden, he's got a lot of pace, well tackled by Ratton, been one of Carlton's best. His 150th game. And
in
again,
the back, free kick.
Free kick. The whistle has gone. It's going to Carlton. It's going to Camporelli.
I think it is a valid point, Roscoe. I talked about it before. These uniforms are very similar. We saw Port last week against Carlton. Same side.
Yes, although they did have the glaringly lighter coloured socks.
Yeah.
The M&M blue socks.
They were teal, Roscoe.
Teal. Sorry. Yeah. Looks a little drab out there, though. We need a bit more colour.
Camporelli unloads, gets good distance, hits the post.
(6-11-5-7). Not exactly a goal feast here at Subiaco Oval. Johnny Worsfold bring it back in. The skipper. Side up by 10 points. Drives it towards the outer side, very close to the boundary line. Jakovic did well. Hard against the line. Good concentration. Kicks it up towards the wing. Plenty of Carlton players there. Ratton's so good early. Gets back, takes the mark. Still going strong for his side. Not a particularly good kick, though. Exposes a lot of the ball to the Eagles. Cousins was up. He was tackled from behind by Hume. Roscoe liked it. Kemp lost it. It comes to Locke, who kicks off his step. And Jakovic takes another mark, this time in the true centre-half back position. Feeds it off to Worsfold, to Waterman. Man on down the ground is Morrison. Gehrig is peeling off now as well. Morrison can go to him. He does. Well, Sexton didn't play it very well, just wandered into no man's land. Gehrig kicks for space then. 3-on-2 situation here for the Eagles. They should get a goal. Fuster to Weapunda. Weapunda, well, he sets Banfield a task, reaching over the top. Ratton did brilliantly. Play on's the call. Ratton claiming a mark. It doesn't matter. Koutafidis has it now. Rebound opportunity around the members' wing here for the Blues. Whitnell's got it. Holds up.
No one to kick to because that's where he should be. Unfortunately, so Jakovic is double banking.
At least he's got the ball. Whitnell short. Koutafidis away. Forward of half back. Kicking to half forward. Massey's in front. McIntosh played it very nicely to Metropolis. Metropolis looking for Banfield. Has to stretch. Couldn't complete the mark. Banfield away though on the wing. Pulls it back. Beautiful kick. Donnelly.
Who's the danger man since coming off the interchange bench. Has kicked a couple of goals. Very bouncy. Chipping in this time is Sexton.
And the kick from Metropolis looking for the leader Fuster.
Finds Clappe. Now a player is down, Roscoe.
Yeah, it's
Whitnell
Fuster.
rockets the ball out wide to finds Locke, who was very prominent in the first half. But again, here's Jakovic building the wall. So the great man comes away, gives it across to Waterman, feeds the ball back. Reed into the centre square. The Eagles come forward. Kicks down towards 50. Here's Gehrig out in front. Couldn't take it. Stretched down low. Tapped the ball on cleverly to Banfield. Hooks the ball around the corner. Donnelly again has got it.
Yeah, that was well thought out because Silvani doesn't have a man at the moment. He was deep. Kick had to be shallow. And Silvani, of course, involved in an incident with Ilya Grigic on this ground last season. And I'm not sure he wasn't the player that in some way had an impact on Fuster and the crowd giving vent to their feelings.
Yes, he just affected a shepherd and got him a bit high. There's the kick from Banfield. Julio late on the scene there. And Fuster's got to come from the ground. Just looks like the right side of his face. And ball, an adequate replacement.
Donnelly has the ball. From 45 metres out directly in front, going for his third goal. He's off target. Been some wasted opportunities today by the West Coast Eagles.
And opportunities, Kevin, they really would nail 9 times out of 10, no question.
Goes wide, finds Lang. Played a few games with the Sydney Swans, now trying to make his mark with the Blues. Here's Clappe on the half-back flank. 48 plays, 37. The Eagles in front.
Very congested on half-forward. That's why he's holding up, Kev.
Clappe short. Camporelli kicks the ball wide to the running McKay. Needs the bounce. He's got it in front of Kemp. Inside 50. Playing in front was young Massey. He's got a job. His first game of AFL football. Got a tough one to beat in McIntosh. Cousins comes away with the ball. Been in brilliant form this afternoon. McKay from the half-forward line. Goes short. It's a poor kick. Coming through hard was the smiling assassin. He's got 20-20 vision. Franchina has a ping at the goals. Been marked right on the line by Jakovic. Comes away. McIntosh goes short. That last line of defence. Worsfold pumps the ball down. Wirapunda out in front. Dulio over the top. And they'll toss it back in. In fact, he's paying a free.
It's out of bounds on the full.
Okay.
6-12, 5-7. Wanting to Ulio to take the free on the other side. Down towards right half forward. Not much happening up ahead. Koutafidis offers a lead. It goes in that direction. Reaching over the top, Gardner thumps it away. Waiting in front, Murphy to Koutafidis right on the 50. Koutafidis tugs it around. McIntosh going back. He's simply too strong for Massey. He's taken this mark about 10 metres out. Short one. Kemp has it now. Still in his own defensive 50. Eagles by 11 points. Plays on. Waterman ran into a dead end. Feigns a hand pass. Kicks it up towards the wing. Donnelly. His confidence on the rise. Marking in front of Lang. Donnelly kicking towards Gehrig. Fisted away by Sexton. Camporelli was pushed in the back. Nose free kick. They battle after it. Close to the boundary line. Clappe dragged off the ball. Picked up by Sexton. Nicely done. Somehow got through. Probing kick back towards half forward. Jakovic and Whitnell. McIntosh read it brilliantly. Comes up, feeds it back to Jakovic. Jakovic goes wider. This is Wooden. Wooden. Hand passes. Lurking in the shadows was Worsfold. Across it comes. Jakovic on the back up. The kick not particularly effective. Made it awkward for Ball. Bounced away from him. Hume has it now. It needs Pearce to run hard on the outer side. He's doing that now. Pearce should have come to the ball. It bounced past him and goes across the boundary line. Well, he was reluctant to come. And when he came, he didn't commit. Adrian down on the boundary.
Then as Brendan Fuster whacked on the right side of his head. They were worried about his jaw, but it seems to be okay. He's got a bit of an egg on his right side of his forehead, but he should be okay.
The Eagles by 11 points. Here's Kemp hugging the boundary line. Puts it over on the full. Hasn't been a classical game, Roscoe.
No, we need not another example. That's a perfect one.
Clappe, the edge of the centre square. This time looking for Whitnell. Again, too much carry on the ball. Whitnell has been a hard worker right throughout this game. And they'll toss it back in.
Whitnell's gone back on McIntosh. Obviously, they had to break that matchup up.
Yeah, Massey was just getting pushed out of the way far too easily.
Big ask for young Massey playing his first game. Jakovic having a big effect on the game in his third term. Reid kicks the space. That's the place to be when you got Peter Matera loping to the ball. Then absolutely drills it to Donnelly. He's been so good in this game today. Kicks wide, looking for Cousins, takes a one-hander. Straight away to Kemp. Runs inside 50. Great play, Eagles. Kicks a goal.
Well, finally, that's the one they wanted. That's the setup they've had 3 or 4 times today, perhaps 5 or 6 times, where they just haven't been able to convert. Bit of flow, and Cousins had featured in quite a few of those setups through the course of this game. The third time Kemp's had a shot at goal. Once inaccurate, the second time not the distance, that time far more accurate. The one they wanted.
Well, the first goal of the second half took a while to come. 7-12, 5-7. The Eagles kicked it. Porter doing well in there, knocks it down. Hume, he's a battler. McKay had to stretch, trying to knock it back to Hume, who's got it now. Across it comes to Locke, feeds it off to Ulio, back to Locke. Chips it out very wide. Camporelli will need to go. In fact, Ulio was put down.
It's
after
a
it
free
kicked.
Yeah, against Worsfold on Diulio.
Camporelli goes short then. Finds Manton. Diulio still feeling the worse for wear. Camporelli comes again, gathers the ball, kicks towards the 50. Hamill pushed in the back. Waterman defended against. Matera to Gardner. Cruising past is Kemp. Kemp just onto the ground. He goes looking, I think, for Simmons, although maybe it was Gehrig because Simmons had just come through the interchange gates. Simmons has it now from Gehrig. Kicks it down towards Ball. He got his left hand to it, couldn't control it. And it's out of bounds.
Stephen Silvani being booed every time he goes near the ball, with Fuster off the ground. Boundary thrown some 60 metres around from the Eagles' goal. Gehrig from behind to the front. Schofield, all tied up by McKay. Cousins again, brilliantly, just couldn't handle the ball. McKay does well. Tough in the clinches, gets it out towards Sexton, didn't hit a target. Reed, an impressive young player, around the corner. Chance now for the Eagles. Ball runs onto the ball. Morrison's got it, caught. It's a free kick.
Against McTerra for holding, and interestingly enough, David Pagan's brought Craig Bradley back onto the ground. Hamill's off, Bradley's going to a forward pocket.
Silvani under pressure, heads towards the line, and listen to the roar. It's Subiaco.
He's been pushed in the back.
Just the fact that he headed towards the line. He's not the favourite son here at Subi. Stephen Silvani.
There's the free kick in the first instance, then Silvani had to kick the ball, was pushed in the back, so he gets the ball back again.
So a big boo goes around the ground. Chance for Porter in front, thumped away by Gardner, kicked off the ground by McKay. Going in hard was Worsfold. McKay recovers well, back towards the centre wing. Ratton pushed under the ball, that time by Waterman. Here's Hume, an impressive young player. Back to Ratton. The Blues mounting an attack. Whitnell's the target, pushing and shoving. Banfield's with him. Make that, let's have a close look. That's Bradley back on the ground. Banfield comes away from the half-back flank. Kemp back to Schofield. Caught. Great tackling by Hume on centre wing. McKay's got a chance. Keeps the ball alive. Feeds the ball back off to Sexton. Down from half-back. The Blues into attack. It's a deep kick. Manton stands his ground and he's got it. Well, Bradley's back onto the ground. Must go down to Adrian Barrage. Said he's had a torn thigh and we wouldn't see him.
KB, it's all or nothing for David Park and KB with Bradley's on. He's actually in the forward pocket, almost full forward at the moment on Drew Banfield.
So Manton has a chance. The Blues trail by 17 points. From 45 metres, it's starting to bend back. He's got it.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that the work rate of Carlton's lifted a bit in this last 5 minutes, just making sure they don't allow the Eagles to get too far away from them. They've struggled to get the ball inside their 50, but Manton just slipping up there. He had Bradley behind him if he wanted to turn around and feed it off. The umpire's certainly letting it go. Free kick's not being paid.
Well, the standard is pretty poor, but the contest is very good. Carlton now making a move against the Eagles. A goal apiece in this third term. Who'll get the next one? Kemp at the base of the pack sends the Eagles down towards their half-forward line. It bounces. An eternity in the air. Laying a long time over the ball. Didn't appear to have it. No free kick. Donnelly dragged down. In there is Hume, like his attempt at getting the ball. And again there he slapped it out of the pack. Over the ball though, Kemp. Kemp, about 70 metres from goal, tries to chip it in. Falling to the ground, Reed. Cousins hits the loose ball hard. Good tackle. Murphy applied it. It comes to Ball. And Ball has kicked it behind.
Umpires have to start blowing their whistle. Players are being interfered with continually. They're just not paying free kicks at all. Makes for a very ugly game.
Clappe is the target. Camporelli found him. So Clappe, left half back. He's away. Kicking through this centre. Porter didn't touch the ball. As a result, Jakovic backed himself low down. having a good term, Glenn Jakovic. Played well last week at Football Park. Goes across the ground. Waterman, Simmons, meters in the clear. That's ignored. Goes long down towards a contest. And Geary has been pretty quiet. Makes the mark. Coming into this afternoon. Led the league in marks by quite a margin. Gives it to Wooden. Wooden inside the centre square towards the pocket. Donnelly, was there a push in the back? I think there was. And Matera will get the free kick about 25 metres out.
There's a crowd pleaser, Gavin Della, just putting one up there. A free kick for a push, definitely there. Finally paid one. There's been plenty of others before they haven't paid.
That one against Scott Camporelli. So Matera hasn't seen a lot of the ball this afternoon. Although coming up for his 15th possession, and I suppose that's been the story of his season. Looking at the numbers coming into this game, most possessions by an Eagle this season, which I suppose surprises you when you think of his form. He's been under a fair degree of public pressure.
He's been getting it okay, but what he's been doing, Dennis, hasn't been the quality that you normally expect from Peter Matera.
It's a little bit. So Matera about 30 metres out. Big kick here. 7-13, 6-7. I've had the feeling, Roscoe mentioned it, that Carlton have really been trying to work their way back into this game. The tempo lifted, and this could hurt them. Matera from the free kick, kicks a goal.
There's no doubt there that that's one that might hurt Carlton in the end. So I really believe their endeavour has improved in this last 5 or 6 minutes, realising the game could sneak away from them. And just a few times out that centre, whilst they've been getting their hands first on the ball, West Coast been able to clear it out. And their forwards are just on top at the moment. And then you get a free kick, give a free kick away in front of goals like that, that's where it really hurts you.
The Eagles by 18 points. Gardner against Porter. Wins the tap down to Ratton. Thought he had it. Tapped the ball on, then dives on top of it. Tied up by Worsfold. 61 plays 43. Ben Cousins has booted 3 goals. 2 to Andrew Donnelly. And for Carlton, 2 to Brad Pearce. The Blues come forward. Youngster, Locke, who's had a good game. Kicks it to 50. Pearce came out hard. Whitnell has been fantastic. Youngster got a big future. Kicks to the front of the square. Pulling for the free kick. The Blues, none being paid. McIntosh goes to ground on hands and knees. Koutafidis tied him up. Morrison has had the job on Cooter all day. Recovers well from the half-back line. Gets around Clappe. Keen to take him on. Goes short. Finds Waterman, one of the veterans. Cool under pressure. Back to Worsfold, the skipper. Spent the first half on the bench. Geary has had a big duel with Sexton. Simmons couldn't take it. At the back is Lang, trying to kick it off the ground, taken away by Donnelly. Rockets the ball here, comes Jakovic. Big bomb, he's across the face of goals. Backing back, and Allen takes the grab. Plays on quickly. The Blues need a goal. McKay. Been good across half-back. They've been under a lot of pressure. Waterman is going to be met by Koutafidis. Kept the ball alive. Back to Morrison. Locked the chaser. Worsfold. Chips it to Simmons. Stands his ground.
Still inside the 50 square, and now 50.
Yeah, Murphy just knocked the ball out of Simmons' hands. He had the opportunity to pass the ball, handball. A couple of players going past. That was stopped by Murphy. Just watch this. Just held his jumper and just tapped the ball.
Another 50. Well, Murphy faced the umpire, Gavin Dorr, I think it is.
I'm not quite certain whether he knocked that out of his hands, Roscoe.
He had his jumper and then the arm just hit it. Yeah.
No, I reckon Simmons dropped the ball. I mean, he's got the free kick, he's got the 50, that's clever play. But I don't think Murphy knocked it out of his hands.
Bit happening here. Simmons, meantime, from point-blank range, kicks the goal. Can't look down for a minute.
Yeah, it's Justin Murphy just losing his cool there.
I'd love to say to the umpire, and was penalised his second 50.
Yep. Hits him again. So he just holds his jumper and his left arm.
I think Murphy was very unlucky on that first 50. The second one, well, you can't go crook at the umpire, but certainly he did not knock the ball out of Simmons' hand. It was clever play by Simmons, just firstly threw the ball out of his hand. McKay out of the centre square to the half-forward line. Playing in front is Whitnell. Jakovic has been beaten on this occasion.
Free kick for holding.
Had a terrific duel. There was a period where Whitnell hasn't played on Jakovic. He's had a big third term. Pearce is the target. At the back of the pack. Couldn't take it. Bradley's there on the field along with Koutafidis.
Bradley just disappointed there. He didn't hold the mark. It carried players in front of him. Couldn't quite grasp it.
Let's have a look at this, Roscoe. He was unlucky there, Roscoe. Didn't knock it out of his hands. Not quite certain whether David Parkin saw that when they took him from the field. Banfield. The Eagles lead by 23 points. They trail by 13 points at quarter time and led by 11 points at half time. And chipping in, taking the mark is Allen. To Manton, it's been on and off the ground. Deep into the forward line. Pearce in front. He's kicked a couple. Koutafidis. They need him to lift. Worsfold over the top. And again, the Eagles come away with the ball. Morrison to Gardner. To the centre wing. Standing his ground this time is Sexton. That's been a great duel. Give him the points over Fraser Gehrig so far. Thumped away that time by Gardner. Pounced on the Eagles. Trying to crash his way through. The smiling assassin gets it back to Gardner. Thought he had it. They're not in the burst. Sets it up. Donnelly on the half-forward line, around the corner, looking for the bounce. Cousins didn't get it. Thumped towards the line by Franchina. And they'll toss it back in.
And the crowd wanting deliberate as it was knocked towards Sexton. Hard to please. Boundary throw it. 9-13, 6-8. You get the feeling Carlton desperately need the next goal. Otherwise, they'll be hard-pressed to win from here. Goals so hard to come by for them. Kemp putting the ball across the line on the full. We're running down towards three-quarter time. 2 minutes 23 seconds remain in this third term. Another defence then. Sexton back towards halfback. Gardner gets it on the ground. Kemp dragged down. Waterman didn't take the ball initially. Hume prepared to get in and work. Gets it across to Allen. Allen lopes away. Here's the goal here as he kicks down towards half forward. Brilliantly done by Pearce. Came at that one hard. Player of exceptional skills. He kicks from about 60. Long. It carries them. It pitches on its end. Didn't cross the line. Away comes Banfield. Remarkable. Towards the boundary line. Bradley leads in the race. It goes across the line now. Well, Bradley pleading that it was a goal. It'd be hard to tell from here. Bounces on its point. It's still in according to that second bounce. And Banfield was the thief. Taken high as Reed.
Anything can happen in Western Australia, as we know, Dennis.
Settle down.
Only
Settle down.
McKay, sensitive, working hard across half-back, along with Sexton. They've had a big afternoon. McKay, again, just pumps the ball back to 50. Whitnell always plays in front. Jakovic does well, kept the ball alive. Metropolis caught, tied up by Whitnell. They'll bounce.
Oh!
A bit of aggro. The whistle's gone. And Metropolis has got the free kick.
Well, you just can't do that.
So the Blues losing a little bit of composure. Malthouse on the boundary line demonstrating with Fuster what he wants him to do when he goes back onto the ground. Sent from the field after a clash with Silvani. Metropolis from the half-back line. Kicks a high ball. Setting himself was Donnelly. Big fist away this time by the Blues.
Yeah, Whitnell, the player there, that giving away the free kick to Metropolis, just remonstrating.
There's Michael. Making the point to Jackson Crabb, I think, down on the line. Hamill had it a long time. He's been penalised.
He's had a chat to all the guys on the change bench.
It's a free kick going to Hume. I think that looks at quite a bit. Hume, hasn't he battled hard? He started well last week and inexplicably, I thought, came off the ground. So Hume kicks it down towards half forward. Simmons was up. Coming through is Manton. Hand passes it very high. It's a looper back towards the boundary. Clapway left it behind. Simmons couldn't control it. Out she goes. Clock down to 5 seconds remaining in this third term. Hume 16 possessions. Thrown in. Koutafidis with the backhand. Worsfold upended. Falling to the ground. Ratton got it to lock on the siren. 3/4 time. Generous applause from the home fans. It hasn't been pretty, but they've worked their way on top. Breeze was favouring Carlton in that quarter, so Carlton certainly have a job to do. And still, you see these players on a pretty short fuse. It's a hot day in Perth. The dispositions of quite a few from both clubs. Mirroring that. Brad Pearce having his say. He's kicked 2 goals. 3/4 time, though, on the scoreboard. The West Coast Eagles lead 9-13 to 6-8. Subiaco Oval on a glorious Sunday afternoon. Sunday football on the 7 network right around Australia. Second part of a double-header. The West Coast Eagles in front at three-quarter time. They'll finish on the breeze. They lead 67-44. Ben Cousins with 3 goals, the game's highest scorer. 2 other games being played today. Of course, one earlier today, 2 other in progress when we last spoke. Half-time, let's check the final scores. Firstly, at Waverley in the clash between Hawthorn and the Western Bulldogs. The Western Bulldogs, like the good side they are, pulling away to win convincingly by 40 points. 21-10, 14-12. The other one was tight at the MCG. Collingwood and Melbourne. Melbourne are for real. Home in a thriller by 3 points. 17-12 to 16-15.
The 1998 AFL Premiership season proudly brought to you by Telstra, making life easier. Victoria Bitter, for a hard-earned thirst. Cadbury Mark of the Year, and McDonald's Double Quarter Pounder with cheese.
Michael Malthouse, after addressing his troops, no doubt feeling a little more comfortable now. David Pagan never seems to be comfortable. Let's take a look at that interesting situation on the goal line. Kick coming in. It bounces on its point. Simmons is up to touch it. So was it a forced point there? Is it on the line? John McEnroe call that in. I don't know. What do you think, gentlemen? We need Cyclops. Come on, KB.
Look,
you were strong on the Murphy.
The Murphy?
It was, well, the Murphy one was correct.
I didn't say it was.
I think the goal umpire was definitely the best spot to call that one. Because that was bouncing right on the end.
That old chestnut. Here's Adrian Barrage.
Dennis, good news for the West Coast Eagles. Guy McKenna is back out on the bench, has his right knee heavily bandaged, but it's not serious, so that's great news. Very interesting with David Parkin, though. He says, you've got to find something, boys. This is where St Kilda got them. This is where St Kilda knocked them over in the last quarter. We need the first couple of goals. So the Blues still think they're a chance, but you'd have to think that the Eagles from here.
And Silvani, sorry Dennis, Silvani's gone forward again.
Fuster's back on the ground and glad at that, I guess. Start of the final quarter. Rucks go at it. Gardner thumps it towards half forward. Reed feeds it wide. This is Wooden. He breaks away, running down towards centre half forward. Josh Wooden heads for home. It's wide at the mark. Matera fingertips to it across the line. It goes down in that disputed area. Well, we had what, replays of the Murphy. We had replays of the bounce, but we didn't get replays of Stephen Silvani and his collision with Brendan Fuster. He is a marvel at finding the blind spot on the radar on this ground, Stephen Silvani. There's no replay in existence. Not saying he did anything untoward, but there was a clash off the ball. Okay, Franchina coming away as Locke. The hand pass untidy. You've got to hit the target there. Waterman run down from behind by Hume in the opposite direction, though. Charging through is Jakovic, and lurking behind 2 Eagles, Matera. In fact, there's 3 of them there. Matera turns around and kicks a goal, and that could be the end of it.
Yes, I'd suggest there that Ben Cousins let that go. I think he had the call from Matera, who's playing basically at full forward, or out of the square anyway. That's why he let that ball go, and Jakovic fed it to him. Jakovic strongly through the middle there, just had 2 targets to kick to, as Dennis said. Cousins lets it go, and Matera on the turn, enjoying that roll up forward.
Two goals to Peter Matera. Eagles by 30 points. Blues have got to get a wriggle on. Pumped out of the centre square by Gardner. So across half back, Sexton and McKay been terrific today. They've battled hard for the Blues. Hamill kicks it off the ground. He's got Worsfold to beat. Good support from Whitnall. Worsfold with that 20/20 vision. Missed Whitnall. Worsfold, the smiling assassin's got it again. To Schofield on centre wing to the half forward line. Gearig from behind. High flyer. But Sexton couldn't take it. It's a loose ball. Fraser Gearig stands his ground and delivers and kicks a goal.
He paid advantage, the umpire.
Yes, he did, and then was going to call it back, Dennis, wasn't he? But now Yeah, you're right. He did play advantage. The free kick was to Reed, I think it was, who was buried from behind. The ball finished up with Gehrig, who snapped to goal. The umpire calls play on. It was a Cousins who was taken through Cousins. Freda Gehrig steps around the corner. The umpire was going to call it back, suggesting that Gehrig was in too tough a position. He said, no, I'll kick the goal anyway.
West Coast Eagles now up by 36 points. Hume with the outside of the boot did well, got it to Rat. Here comes Pearce, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Bradley, well, nowhere near 100%, worked out of it by Banfield. Such is the respect they have for Bradley. Banfield has gone back to the back pocket on McGimpy Bradley, and now holding the ball is called against Banfield, which is a pretty tough call. Still Silvani's got it. He will kick from just inside the 50. Sets it up, it wanders towards the behinds and across the line. Off hands. Carlton with just the one goal since half-time. It's hard to make a case for them getting back into this. Last term at Subiaco Oval. Waterman to bring it in. 11-14, 6-9. Waterman. Quite a few minds. Eventually gets it to Simmons. Simmons runs it out towards right half back. Chips towards the wing and Schofield. Schofield should be too nimble for Murphy. Traps it. Took it across the line. That was careless because he was in the clear. So a boundary throw in the outer side wing.
Yeah, it's just sometimes players, as they go to put the ball in their boot, because they're kicking with their right foot, their right hand just takes it over. Murphy's just come onto the ground to replace a lock.
Bearing in mind, Murphy cramped up in the first term, which wasn't a good sign.
No.
Allen and Gardner fell at their feet. Kemp tried to go through. Hume. Kemp again, though. Did brilliantly. Got it to Worsfold to Simmons. Plenty of run in these Eagles. Simmons kicks it down towards half forward. Getting a fist on it. Sexton knocked it away from Gehrig. And across the line it goes. Sobering. It's been a while.
Bradley's coming off as he should. No more damage required there. Important to replace him.
He's looking at this Carlton side at the moment. He's almost the franchise. Coming away is Kemp. He was aided by Fuster. And Kemp stumbles and misses.
Well, from the Eagles' point of view, you'd hope that Dean Kemp's got rid of some of those missed shots today. Usually inaccurate.
You can see there Craig Bradley in the dugout. It's going to be a tough last quarter for the backmen for Carlton.
That doesn't make it any easier.
Fuster. Good 65 metres out, goes short. This time the kick's a poor one, but Sexton couldn't take it. One of his rare mistakes, Camporelli. Back to Hume. He's battled hard all day. Promising young player. Kicks back towards half-back line. Murphy gives it across to Clappe. So he just belts the ball back towards the half-forward line. Coming out very hard. Jakovic stood his ground. Porter crashed into him. The whistle has gone and Jakovic will take the free kick. Gardner is loose. Back edge of the centre square. Here comes Silvani. Gardner kicks the ball long. Manton waits for the bounce. He's caught by Matera. Loose ball to Simmons. He's going to kick a goal. He's missed again. Just a couple of goals today. Simmons has had a chance to nail a few.
11-16, 6-9. So for all their fight in the first half, Carlton just falling away now. These conditions sapping their energy as well. Camporelli just goes for distance, high up and under. Allen eventually turns it into a chest mark. Is it right half back? Well, almost through the arms of Gardner. As it was, Hume was standing nearby, picks it up. Hume close to the boundary line, battling with Reed. Still Hume is going. Still Hume is going. Nicely done to his own advantage, but across the line. So Hume, as we've said, is trying very hard. 20 possessions for Hume. Thrown in. Well done by Gardner, falling to the ground, got it across to Kemp, and Kemp unloads. Matera in from the side, actually bungled into a teammate down there. Fuster stopped him from marking the ball, and Sexton can't keep it in. It's out of bounds, right full forward for the West Coast Eagles, who lead 82-45.
Peter Matera on screen, 16 possessions today. Eagles by 37 points. Again, Cousins, who's been very good today. He's booted 3, outside of 50, to the square. Gehrig from behind.
It's a point, I think. Just carried over. You see this again. Gehrig just in the air and over the line.
11-17-83 the Eagles, 6-9-45 Carlton. Camporelli to bring the ball back into play to Hume. He's had the job playing on Dean Kemp all day. Short, danger here for McKay. Schofield might make him pay, and bangs it through.
Yeah, those short chip kicks out of defence have got to be spot on. And the Eagles really should be a lot further in front of they are at the moment, but because their work rate's been so good. Here's his short kick, just missing the target. Reed over the top, causing the spill. And Schofield, as good a finisher in the side as there is.
(12-17, 6-9). Bad news for Carlton is they're out beyond the St Kilda barrier now. To see them losing from here. David Pagan suggesting to his players at three-quarter time. The West Coast Eagles did stop in the final quarter against St Kilda, but as we say, the lead is very big. Nice succession of hand passes, finishing up with D'Ulio, who finds Clapper. So Clapper only about 25 metres out, directly in front.
Just looking ahead for West Coast too, they'll enjoy a change of scenery. 4 out of the next 5 games are actually night games. So they go from the heat to some relative cool. 2 of those at the whack-up.
Next week very big for them, Virginia Park. Clapper kicks, and kicks truly.
Well, like some of his teammates, Matt Clapper limited opportunities today, just 9 and 2. But here, just the ball carrying the front pair. And John Worsfold getting caught out there, thinking the ball's going to be contested there by Pearce and Metropolis. Not so, and too far behind to effect a spoil on Clapper.
Eagles by 38 points. It's important for Carlton to finish this game off. Their poor performance last week. They started well today. They led at quarter time by 13 points. They're under a lot of pressure now. Gehrig overruns the ball. Koutafidis struggled again today. Sexton out in front of D'Ulio, does well, got to his feet quickly, kicks down towards the half-forward line. So they need a crummer. Ratton, game number 150 today, out in front, Pearce. And he's got it in front of Metropolis.
He turns quickly, he's got Allen free in the square.
Well, he's kicked 2 goals. He kicked 1 in the first quarter and 1 in the second term. Pearce from just inside 50. This raking left boot. And he's popped it through.
Well, the late rally is important, KB, no question about that, just to keep their season going. It's not completely out of the question. They can't make the 8 if they drop this game today, but it just makes it so difficult when you've got to win at least probably 11 games, possibly 12 to make the 8. Leaves a lot of work in front of them. They face North Melbourne next week at Optus Oval. So important to finish off well today.
So Carlton have booted the last 3 goals. The West Coast Eagles collectively must be one of the quicker sides in the competition to make a decision when they've got a game won. The history this season says they're bad judges, even late last year. Carlton would be hard-pressed to win, but they're fighting it out. Banfield down towards half-forward. Donnelly slaps it across towards Simmons. Simmons touched off the boot by Murphy. Donnelly goes again. Gehrig at the top of Massey. Spills across to Sexton. Sexton drives it up towards the wing. Bad luck for Clappe. Taken by Banfield. Worked out of it well by Franchina. Now it's with Ratton. Ratton kicks it up towards centre half forward and Jakovic. Whitnell got his fingertips to it. Jakovic recovered well to Wooden, who boots it out wide. The mark is held on the other side by Morrison. Cousins liked his game. He showed some sparkle last week. He's running down towards half forward. He's booted 3 goals and he's found Fuster. And Fuster should get 50. That was very late from Ronnie D'Ulio.
I'd agree with you, Dennis. That's worth 50. No question.
KB?
50 metres, Dennis.
Just wanted to check with you. That was all. You know, there was a bit of dissension earlier. You were back in full. I mean,
don't think there's any doubt about that 50 metres.
No. So Fuster will kick. He didn't get it, incidentally.
No.
Will kick from just inside the 50. Brendan Fuster. Well, his kicking has been pretty ordinary today. In fact, terrible. He's kicked no goals. He'd have about, what, 4 behinds? Anyone keeping a tally? About 4. Most of them kickable. A look of resignation on the face of Guy McKenna there. And in the background, Michael Gardner, who's battled hard today as the kick comes in and finds Manton.
Who marks in front of Fuster. Keen to keep the ball moving quickly. The Blues away. Again, Hume finds Hamill, edge of the centre square. Pearce, again, the target. Too much carry. Silvani had it, lost it. It's all tied up. Worsfold under pressure. Gets the ball wide. Donnelly's been so good today. Got rid of Murphy. Picked up by Pearce. Outside of 50. Goes short. Here comes Jakovic. Just needed a bounce. Missed it. Ball. Wants a kind bounce. Got the fumbles. Now with clean hands. Finds Waterman. Plenty of support from Cousins. Comes away from the half back line. And just sends the ball straight over the line on the full. Eagles by 33 points. Cousins, their leading goal kicker, with 3. The Blues trying to get a bit of pride back in their game. They've battled hard today. Just need to finish the game off. Simmons being chased by Murphy. Gets around Hume. Smother didn't come off. Donnelly. Again on the edge of the centre square. Important player for the Eagles. He's bouncy, quick. Takes a good mark. McKay did well. Got a fingertip to it. Matera playing from behind. Going to the ground was Camporelli. Again a loose ball. Koutafidis cross half back. Chris Massey, the youngster, playing his first game for the Blues today. Whitnell. Certainly he's got a bright future. It was tough for him today playing on Jakovic. Kemp to Donnelly. And again the Eagles set it up.
Donnelly on the other side then. Very close to the boundary line. It bounces out down towards the right full forward pocket. Adrian.
Yeah, it's a good crowd in today. 36,782. 36,782.
They sense to win. Likely they'll be right. 90 to 57. 10.5 minutes to go. Fuster gains about 15 metres close to the line. Morrison can't keep it in. Another throw in. Koutafidis and Morrison. Koutafidis. Not a great game today. 13 possessions. Is that a push in the back? Not according to the umpire. Matera may have hit his shoulder there as Clappe pops it over the top to McKay, who's battled manfully and finds Whitnell. Whitnell on the outer side. Kicks it through centre wing towards half forward. Metropolis got an unkind bounce. Hamill close to the line. Heard the voice. Tried to go back to a teammate there in Pearce. Franchina comes across. He takes it across the line. David Weapunda getting some instructions. Matera's okay. At least outwardly. Kemp. Cousins. Eventually ball off a step through the congestion down towards half forward. Donnelly again. Murphy got rid of him. McKay in the grasp. Got the hand pass away. Fraser Gehrig got an unkind bounce. As a result, Sexton emerges with the footy.
Great competitor, Sexton. Finds Allen. Feeds the ball off. Ratton from inside the centre square. Looking for Silvani in front. You'll hear the boos from the crowd. Worsfold kicks it off the ground and chases hard towards the boundary line, and he gets bowled over by Murphy. Wirapunda on and Schofield off. So a throw in the half-forward line for the Blues. Banfield had the job on Bradley when he was on the field, puts it over on the full. So McKenna left the field just at half-time on a stretcher, which looked to be a knee injury. And Craig Bradley went off very early in the first quarter, reappeared in the third with a torn thigh muscle. Hume trying to get around Kemp. To Koutafidis, very short to Manton. Very crowded Carlton forward line. Whitnell makes the lead. It's into his territory. Here he comes. Just couldn't quite make ground. Porter couldn't take control. Hamill, some fancy footwork. Back to Silvani, pushing and shoving, wants to set it up. Ratton around the corner. There's a great mark to Simmons. Stretched up. Those long arms, the go-go gadget man, gives them across to Jakovic. Keen to hold up play, picks his mark and Reid.
Reid, the hand pass back towards Ball. Ball kicks it around the outer side. Murphy judged it pretty well. Not easy out there with his son. Comes across the ground. Manton inside the centre square. Allen gets on the end of it, or does it? It was knocked away brilliantly by Fuster. Great competition there from Fuster. Dragged down by Ratton, knocked at goalward. Banfield tried to crash his way through. Manton stood in the road, feeds the hand pass to Massey. Massey on the wing, kicks it inside the 50. Pearce again. Lively. It's about 60 metres from goal. Bacon square, heads for home. He likes his chances on the bounce. Will it run on? Well, it does, the wrong side of the post. He assessed it very well. Behind. Brad Pearce, 3 goals, 2 in the first half, 1 in the second. 8-10, 12-18. All Carlton at the moment. Wooden gets it from Jakovic. Kicks it around the outer side, close to the boundary line. It bounces inside the field of play, taken across the line by Sexton. And will be thrown in. Some tired players out there. Less than 8 minutes to go. Crabb and Gardner waiting to come back on. Ball and Porter battle for this one. DeUlio at their feet, kicks it up towards half forward. Whitnell, good work. A lot of quality about this youngster.
Yes, he's a super young talent. Here's Worsfold. 2 Waterman, 2 old heads combined. Goes short, sets it up to Fraser Gehrig. Drops a sitter. Hasn't been the best of days for Fraser today. But with that great pace on the burst, wants to take him on, then loses the ball. Intercepted by Murphy. Kicks the ball wide, finds Whitnell. Rockets the hand pass to Allen. There's a loose player on the half-forward line. If Allen can see him, he does. Gives it across to Hamill. Runs into the open goals.
That's good.
I think he's kicked it.
Well, they've shown a bit of spirit today, but poor mistake there by Fraser Gehrig. Carlton really have just kept at it, even though they've been under siege. They really have not thrown it in. Just running out of numbers in the end here, and Hamill, I should say, just seeing the opportunity as Banfield comes off, replaced by Jackson Crabb. But the margin too great.
(12-18, 9-10). Carlton have kicked the last 3, or is it 4 goals in this game? Certainly the last 3. Wide of the pack and hitting the ball hard is Cousins. Great evasion. Here's a chance for that run to be stopped anyway as Cousins goes long from 50 and hits the post halfway up. That's been a telling factor in the last couple of weeks, the improved form of Ben Cousins. Very important to them. Not the quickest side in the competition. He gives them legs around the ground. Camporelli kicks in, favours the outer side. Murphy's the target out there. In goes Morrison. Has it been touched? Judging on the reaction of Morrison, it did not get touched by any of the players out there. So it's a free kick to the West Coast Eagles. 12-19, 9-10. He goes short and finds Fraser Gehrig, who gets ironic cheers from the crowd.
It's a bit tough.
Geary goes long down towards Gardner, and Gardner takes the mark. He's 25 metres out, almost directly in front, marking over Manton. And they are desperately short of tall defenders, Carlton. Must be a nightmare trying to work out some of the matchups. Gardner exploiting at that time, simply too big. Marking over retired Glenn Manton. So Gardner should kick this in the sequence of Carlton goals. Really no need to finish the sentence. I saw where the ball was headed halfway through, but I was stuck with it.
Well, they've been off target all day, the Eagles.
I've just been trying to put down some best players, Kevin. I mean, players, there are some who've had
in and out of the
footy,
game,
but they've been in and out, plus their skill level's been down, so line ball.
Camporelli to Manton, dragged down by Gardner. Well, Cousins was very good in the first half, wasn't he? And with his pace around the ground, he's in good touch. As we see the ball over the line touched. And Ben Cousins on screen. 20 possessions today to Cousins. There's Drew Banfield in the dugout. So Allen in front. Kemp going to ground was Clappe. It's on the edge of the centre square. There's Cousins. His confidence growing. No doubt that was a clean pickup. Donnelly got a bad bounce. Sexton, ever reliable. Again, been terrific for the Blues across half back. Hamill got a bad bounce. Then he got a lucky one. Comes away from Wooden, kicks down inside 50. Pearce again into his territory, kicks it off the ground. This is bouncing through. It's another miracle goal. He's kicked 4.
Well, you take the opportunities when they come along, and that situation was summed up very nicely. I thought there might have been a collision of bodies here when Hamill's kick came through, just carried the head of the players in front, which was Pearce, Metropolis, Silvani and McIntosh coming from behind, but Pearce just turned quickly, chipped it off the ground. That's very clever. Very clever.
Just less than 5 minutes to go, and the margin is back to 22 points. Full credit to Carlton. They've kept on coming. Ball goes up, gets the backhander down. Crashing in hard was Clappe. Hand pass comes from Franchina to Hume. Carlton not done with yet. The kick goes inside the 50. Ratton got it across from Pearce. Vacant square, needs a kind bounce. It tries to come back. Not enough. Behind.
Just to help you with the clash of jumpers there, Dennis. Ratton looked across thinking he had a Carlton teammate running through the middle. In fact, it was Jakovic. He stopped and was going to handball off. He thought, hang on, long fellow, I've got to kick it here.
I think they need to do something about it, seriously. There's too many clubs, too similar. Some of the away strips do nothing to change that, which is laughable. Here's Waterman in the back pocket. 12-20, 10-11. There will be talk about the Eagles' fitness this week, but they are a club that likes to take their foot off the gas at the first possible opportunity, and they've given it away here. Hamill has marked the crab kick within scoring range.
Chris Waterman was asking all the players when he had the ball across the boundary line to move to the side in front of him, on the outer side, create some space. They wandered across, try to chip it back, lose control of it.
Hamill has tried very hard on the forward line, and that's symptomatic of it, going hard at that ball. If he were to kick this, 3:50 counting down now, the margin at 21 points, and I think he's got it. He has. 3 for Hamill, and Carlton creep closer.
Well, I made a mistake, Dennis, in the St Kilda game a couple of weeks ago by saying with about this amount of time to go that West Coast look forward to their next game with some confidence, and all of a sudden St Kilda snuck up. So Banfield comes back onto the ground mindful of that. He had his knee re-strapped, his right knee, which is the reason why it went off. And he's going straight to Hamill.
Carlton won't go away. 92 plays, 77. They trail by 15 points. Kemp out of the centre square to the half-forward line. Geary playing in front of Sexton. Got a bad bounce. Here comes Donnelly. Taps the ball on. takes it over. Let's go down to Barra.
KB still very worried on the Eagles bench here. They're very mindful of that St Kilda loss, and that was the cause for Drew Banfield to go back on. He actually is injured, but they've thrown him back into the fray. They're a little bit concerned.
11-11, 77 Carlton. West Coast 12-20, 92. 4 goals to Pearce and 3 to Hamill. And the Blues, as time is running out, have made a real fight of this game. Different stages, particularly early in this last quarter, Roscoe, it looked like the Eagles were going to run away with it.
That's right.
So a chance for the Eagles. A boundary throw in some 55 metres out from goal. Murphy, play across half-back, slaps it on, Hume. Impressive young player today, Franchina, gives it back to Ratton. Just wobbles the ball back to the centre square. Big pack of players. Crab got a fist to the ball. Porter. Quick hands to Koutafidis. The Blues again into attack. Backing back his man with the ball, and he's got it. He's 55 out. Screaming for the ball is Whitnell. Has it got carry? It has.
Perfect kick there. Jakovic caught under it. He had Whitnell covered on the inside, but the ball was going to carry his head. He was in trouble, and it did that. Beautifully weighted kick this. It looks as if it might have just dropped short enough for Jakovic to get a hand on it.
Well, remarkably, if he kicks this, the Blues are within 9 points. He's directly in front. He's pushed it left. You can hear the roar. He's kicked it behind.
Just incredible. 15 points the difference. Carlton surging, and like a box of the West Coast Eagles just trying to hang on. McIntosh to bring it in. Important clearance this one. McIntosh spots a man metres in the clear. That's Gardner. So the clock continues to run, just over 2 minutes to go. Eagles by 14 points. Schofield back on. Crab is off after a little time. Gardner taking plenty of time. It's a long kick, I'd suggest. No, he's coming across the ground. He spotted Metropolis. Not bad policy. Metropolis up from the back pocket then, kicking it up towards the wing. Weapunda gathers the bouncing ball, trapped it nicely. Kicks across field to Schofield, the man just introduced. Breaking hard is Cousins. He'll use Cousins now. He timed the release pretty well. Cousins, though, heard them coming and dropped the mark to Ulio. Gets it across to Franchina. Untidy hand pass, but effective enough. The kick goes from Franchina, or rather to Ulio, towards the outer side. Banfield playing hurt, did well. Short one is on. Simmons had to wait, and that's a good grab in the circumstances.
There's a poor kick to Hamill. It's an important kick for Carlton.
This is going to be one of those flat wins, isn't it, in the rooms afterwards?
Yeah.
See Timmy Jepp on screen there, just shaking his head in the Eagles box. Schofield. So Mick Malthouse has brought Banfield and Schofield back on in these last few moments. So it's keepings off. Worsfold, half-back flank, back edge of the centre square, taking his time.
This is
the clock ticks away. Now he's moved off his line, so he has to kick the ball now. Matera in front. It's going to be all tied up. Sexton's there, falls over the top, and they'll bounce it. It's been a brave fight by Carlton this last quarter. But the Eagles will win the 4 points.
Make it hard for yourself, KB, when you get a reputation as a side that can't play out 4 quarters, don't you? Everyone has a crack right till the last minute.
Ratton, in the dying second, sends the Blues into attack. Pearce gets it. He's going to kick a goal. Runs into the open goal. Kicks a goal. That's goal number 5 for Pearce. But it's all too late for Carlton.
He's been very dangerous in this last quarter, Pearce. 3 goals and great little work by not only Ratton, but watch Silvani come out, meet this ball and just fend this off very quickly. Gets down, pushes into the path of Pearce. No chance of him missing from there. No question that lack of finishing again comes back to haunt the Eagles.
Eight points the margin, but only 9 seconds to go. So the Eagles will win it, but take little from it, other than the 4 points. Here's Hume again, and the crowd getting very restless. Most of them not aware that the siren was imminent. The West Coast Eagles win. But Carlton, a great effort in the final term, but lost by just 8 points, and the margin was out over 40 at one stage. 12-20 to 12-12. The West Coast Eagles have won by 8. Michael Malthouse, a word, I think, to a supporter there on his way out. Obviously, the supporter may have been offering an opinion or two, and David Pagan comes down. That's good to see. That's great to see.
I think he was waiting for him, Dennis, here.
I hope so. So the West Coast Eagles have won 12-20 to Carlton's 12-12. The West Coast Eagles break their losing streak and win their 3rd game of the season.
This has been a 7 Sports production.
A close one like this, and I think it may hold us in good stead for the rest of the year.
Benno, tell us, in that last quarter, were you conscious of St Kilda and the loss that you had here a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, certainly. I had it in the back of my mind. They come back really hard, Carlton, and you know, we just hung on, which was great.
Any reason for the lack of finishing, you reckon, in the last quarter?
Oh, I'm not sure, mate. You know, both sides went at it real hard all day, and you know, I can't remember a tougher game of football, and you know, it was great.
It was really that tough and hot, I guess, as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. The hot, you know, the heat takes it out of you, and Carlton persisted all day, and full credit to our boys. You know, we hung on for a good win.
Good on you, mate. Your own form's been great. Go and celebrate.
Thanks very much.
This.
Oh, no, get that door shut. That door shut.
What about the boys? They can't...
No cameras. No cameras. Sorry.